Howdy folks, welcome to Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. We're missing Tina tonight, but hopefully we'll have Tina back with us next week.
We miss you, Tina!
We miss you so much.
Yeah, wish you were here. We are going to play D&D, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, we played Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign last night. It was a very busy episode. There was a lot of stuff going on.
So much stuff.
There was actual puzzles, there was actual starship combat, and then there was even a little bit of heist planning towards the end. So something that you could check out when it re-airs on our YouTube at Elbron RPG on Sundays at noon, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a whole bunch of different projects in the works. Some of them are art-related. We have tarot cards. We have one of Alina and of Ori and of Valis all complete. We have Billy in the works. And I think after Billy is Minka, and then we are going to have Cheshire, and then we're going to have them all. It's going to be great. And then you'll see them hanging as banners behind all the players, and that's going to be fantastic. You can see everything in much greater detail at Elbron RPG on Instagram. We have this battle camera right here, and you can see sort of what's happening, but in much greater detail when people take pictures at Elbron RPG. And we had Iron and Thorn last month, which was a Cypher System Old Gods of Appalachia 5-part series. You can see it up on YouTube now. There's so many announcements.
What's my name?
Kara ran that one. And Vincent, myself, and Alana were all players. Matt is upstairs during episode 1.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Brought us food.
You might be able to hear his footsteps. I don't think so, though. We have pretty good sound tuning, actually, all things considered.
I'm also pretty sneaky.
Also true. Matt and Ori.
Just like you.
But you can see that on YouTube. We have a Humblewood 2-part that Hannah ran called Heart of Takao. It was also fantastic and very cute.
So cute.
You can't even see it yet. Sorry. But you'll be able to see it when it re-airs at some point on YouTube.
Suspense.
At some point on Twitch in place of a number of sessions where we can't run them in 1 week. That is, you'll see more announcements on Instagram. What?
Oh, yeah.
I just noticed that the little heart prop is stuck to the...
The actual Heart of the Cow.
Yeah.
With the museum.
But yeah, so Humblewood, a really, really cute setting that is based in 5e, but is much more kind of cutesy animals, and the setting is actually way deeper than I thought it was. When I started getting into it, I was like, wow,
there's a lot of lore. There's a whole book, and they're coming out with version 2.
The Alana Ronathine,
Alana Ronthane, yeah.
Alana Ronathine.
We renamed the Pantheon after Alana because she printed so many things when I asked her to.
Really fantastic. But when that comes up, you'll be able to see that. There are... in September, a one-shot that is coming called Ace of Roses, which is a reality show where some gorgeous contestants form teams to tackle challenges and compete for a grand prize. Olive is going to be running that. It is still very unclear who is going to be playing in it. It is a cast of people that are in and out.
Casting's a nightmare for that.
You'll see that at some point. We also have, in December, Axe, Wolf, and Woe, which is an original one-shot set in this universe about a year, I think maybe 3 years after the events of our first campaign. It is going to be set in Brenna's, Brenna's
Forward story. Yeah.
Seeing what happens with Brenna after the events of Campaign 1, and we'll be seeing Brenna getting a second shot at becoming a werewolf.
I want it really bad, you guys.
In January, we're going to have a series that is going to be using... the Fallout TTRPG system. This is an original story called Fallout Black Heart of Texas. This is a very, very exciting project, and you're going to see that sometime probably second quarter of 2025. There are other future projects, including the Stone Guard project, which will have a few new virtual faces to a virtual 3-part game that will follow a Stone Guard patrol in the Dwarven Citadel of Kol Taram as they respond to an incident in the Citadel's prison, the Halls of Atonement. And that is all the announcements that I have for this week. And so it's time for this week's session of Adventures in Elbron Courts of Everest.
Maker in deep speech. Frozen Throat, Dreadlord of
Wandering Hearts.
And we're back.
Last we played, you bypassed the complex door of levers and weights that turned out to be primarily a scarecrow mechanism, designed to keep the relatively simple-minded goblins of the Grungle Bungle Boys out. This was no match for all of you once you realized that you could just pull the door open. Beyond, you pushed through a cavern and into a narrow space occupied by a gem troll. With Alina's ability to speak and comprehend all languages, you were able to parley in Terran with the powerful elder gem troll that inhabited the space. You gained a measure of trust and learned about this area this creature, who goes by Orchuk, has inhabited for hundreds of years. You also managed to trade your huge collection of potatoes, now protruding with roots that seem to be almost reaching out for soil, having been in your bag for some time, for a large diamond that would prove to be useful as a spell component in the future. You rested, with blessings from Orchuk, who you were warned that something was after you. And Alina, you were shown through an ability called Eyes of the Earth that whatever it was moved fast. And while resting, you were ambushed, with one of your goblin companions ripped in half by a creature with two mouths, one of which seemed to protrude from a split nostril. As it rushed and chained its attacks together, it was able to fell several of your goblin allies, including Zanzi, who was downed almost instantly. This split-nosed creature tore through your goblin ally band, but ran into Billy, who used her defensive flourish to stymie their progress through the cave, and as they were forced to recoil from the green flame blade, Cheshire banished it in a burst of pink glitter that covered Alina, Billy, Rez, and Valis before they reappeared just 6 seconds later. Rez, Valis, Minka, and Alina readied themselves to attack this creature, with Billy missing, Alina hitting, and Rez delivering a devastating natural 20 for 34 points of damage, which is a record for familiars in this campaign. But it was Valis with the Divine Mighty Stab, which was mostly reflexive, still unsure if this creature was real or an illusion conjured up by Cheshire, until it spattered in a much less glittery way across him and Rez. You all caught your breath and pressed forward, deciding to head for the bridge to see if there was a way to perhaps sneak or con your way across. You were very successful in your navigation and found no issue from the creature that Rez had been attacked by previously as they investigated this way. And you carefully, slowly pressed forwards and snuck up to an area where activity increased greatly. In front of you, the wind pushes across a gaping chasm and howls across the rounded sort of surface of a gray stone tower that rises up to overlook the approach to the bridge. And across that, you can hear just over the howling wind, there are faint noises of creatures that are quite large beyond, in a place that you have all identified as the Field of Monsters. But as we peer further into the dark, that is where we begin this evening.
Question.
Yeah.
So, looking at this map, there is a bridge that leads kind of off. Is that the bridge across the chasm, like this black bit?
Yeah, and so it's way longer than that, but that is just kind of symbolizing. And it is about that wide, but it extends... Give me 1 second here. It extends something close to 300 something feet.
Okay.
across.
And so this place where we are now is the Field of Monsters, or
No,
that's
so,
somewhere else?
Where's I put the
across
map
the-
out.
Oh, it's
Oh,
over
right
there.
So on the map right now, you can see the bridge, and this is kind of located directly northwest of where the bridge is.
That right on top of the puzzle here.
And so you would see just a little bit north of, so like,
Oh, so we're here,
Probably
and that's
right
the
about
Field
there.
of Monsters.
Correct.
Okay, on the other side of the bridge, there's more stuff. This is just...
correct.
This is the appetizer stuff.
This is an appetizer? Fuck.
Billy, make an insight check.
What?
That's Kara saying this.
How? We're not actually this close, right? Like they're not gonna see us
23.
where we are yet. Are they?
You're probably about 10 feet further back, but you're pretty close. I mean, you had to get close to be able to see all this.
Where our minis are.
It's relatively dark in the
okay. But
space.
still.
Yeah.
I want to know what is
23.
being intuited.
So, Billy, as you look at all this and you kind of glance over at the map and you see that this is really just, this isn't even really a labeled location. This is just a place that you are passing through. You think about what could be beyond on this Field of Monsters. And that would tell you that whatever's on the other side is probably pretty bad. You can see here there are defensive formations that are taken up along this route that you are passing, but also along this wall. And in fact, Billy, as you think about all this and you chance up and kind of peer around, you can see right up along the cavern, literally just standing and looking over the chasm, there are a number of goblins and one of these larger creatures as well. And they seem to be peering across, almost defensively, like looking across the sky. You get the sense that though they are stationed here, such as they are, and you can see wrapping around, well, I would say with that insight check, that's mostly what you get. It seems like they are not thrilled to be here either.
Alina is going to wordlessly gesture the whole group back and try to have everybody retreat a bit so that we can talk.
With your previous stealth check, no problem. You all pass without a trace, a little bit further back.
And Alina's going to be like, I don't want to fight everything in this camp. We should maybe sneak? Look, we can still all go in my ring, and like Raz can carry us. He's invisible. We can just slip right through. It's totally safe. I do it all the time.
Zanzi will speak up at this. You can see this goblin, like the long, dirty hair, is like almost glued themselves to the side of Alice, but they separate from this and they say, well, it would probably work. Most of the Grongo Bongo boys aren't especially perceptive, but the one over there, and you can see they like kind of scamper forwards in the snow and they point with their little goblin hand. The one with two heads. It used to be two guys, but now it's one. They, if they want to, can see things that are invisible. So you have to be especially careful around that one.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you.
But I don't think all the time, and they argue all the time too.
I don't know. I mean, we don't have to go this way, Billy. We could backtrack and I'd fly over the chasm in a different spot.
Like hidden crevices that look like.
Make an investigation check.
This isn't as much of a straight shot as we thought it was going to be.
No one thought it was going to be a straight shot.
We definitely did. Me and Billy both. Definitely. I did too. Yep.
Megan's at this point going to start looking towards the ceiling, thinking about the dragon spider.
Make a perception check.
Still not over the dragon spider. Not good. Not great.
Okay.
But I do get a decent plus.
With the 24 Ori, as you peer across here, you do note that on the left-hand side of this tower, there is maybe a 5-foot ledge, and though currently it is blocked by a large chunk of ice. If you were to clear that, or very carefully crawl over or around to not slip down, because then you would fall down the chasm, right, you would be able to kind of slide around one side of the tower and then get over to the bridge. You do see, and I would say Billy kind of, as they're trying to figure out what's going on, you follow Billy's eyes and you can see there's a group right off to the left as well. So you would have to sneak almost directly behind this group.
Got a total of 16.
Oh, sorry.
You look up into the air and you can see it's dark here. Your dark vision's only about 60 feet. And you can barely see like the parts of the surface that kind of protrude from the gloom into your range of vision. And those are almost always moving because you can see these huge webs, cobwebs that have just held dust together such that they look very much like tapestries. They kind of flutter up a bit.
Can I follow her eyes because I have 120 feet of dark vision?
Sure. Make a perception check at advantage.
I just want to be done. I
know.
just want to get the sword in. I just want to go.
I know, Billy. I know. Right. Ooh, that's a 15?
The 15. Yeah. The 15, you look up and you don't even really see like a lot of the webs. The way that they stretch out across the I would say, Elena, with the 15 and with your dark vision, you see the webs and everything, but you lose a lot of the detail that really Minka is pulling out from being familiar with caves. And so you mostly just see webs.
Okay. And then she's going to turn back to Billy and be like, look, if this is the route you want to go, I'll follow you. You know I always will. But maybe we should see if there's like a different way.
I guess.
Whatever we're gonna do, we should do it quick. I don't like standing around while that thing's on the ceiling.
Okay, what's the play then?
Zanzi will speak up and say, yeah, and they'll probably bring more bodies at some point, or captives. And you've got captives, right? So, I mean, they're probably not going to last forever.
And you can't distract them or anything.
Well, funny that you should say that. One thing that we could do, you're all really good at murdering things, right? You killed most of my friends. But if you just focused on the big ones, maybe I could talk some sense into the goblins. I mean, they do need a new leader once we liberate the town.
How many are there?
3 more than last year.
Okay.
So
6 and a spider.
3, 4, 5.
knowing what
6.
Billy knows
I'm
of
not counting any that might be inside.
Or when you say that, you can see Zanzi peers out, and you hear them kind of counting under their breath. And then they look at you and they say, well, it's kind of embarrassing. I can only count to 3, but there's at least 3, and I can tell that some of them, I see Spinzy, I see Labita, and I see Franklin over there. Maybe Gar's hiding up there. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's usually where he is.
knowing what Billy knows of Zanzi and Zanzi's last interaction with goblins.
Yeah.
How likely is Zanzi to succeed on a diplomatic mission while we are actively murdering something
With your
else?
previous insight check, almost 0. Like,
Cool.
they're living a pipe dream right now. It's possible, but highly unlikely.
Hey, it worked once.
Well, and I could always help. I can
We
cast
murdered
tongues and
everything
speak
and
to them
then they
in
got it,
Goblin.
though.
And then as she says that, she's like, ugh. Let's make a decision, though.
There's a spot up there that we could sneak by, but I've never snuck through something this treacherous.
We could try sneaking through.
with this. Point to my heavy armor.
Wait. We could try sneaking through, like, if we all go in the ring or whatever, then we could try sneaking through, and then if we get caught, we can do the guns blazing thing.
But then we'll be surrounded.
Yeah. But it'll be a surprise.
To us as well.
Well, not if we plan for it right now.
Like, they'll never expect us to handcuff ourselves and march ourselves right into them.
But Minka's right. We have to decide what to do now. And if we're not going through the camp, then we need to start figuring out how we're going to cross the chasm some other way.
How likely, like, keeping an eye on this area, this path, are they all just, like, doing a patrol, or are all they just, like, hanging out?
So from what you have seen, you can see that there's a group off and to the left. They walk up and down this ridge, but they're staying mostly statically there, and they seem to be on the lookout across the chasm.
Right.
Yeah. You can see up above, with your previous check, there is an ogre who seems to be manning a ballista.
Gar?
That doesn't seem to be Gar. Gar seemed to be a goblin that they were gesturing to. But this individual has a huge looking, almost siege weapon that seems to be, I would say with 23 was your investigation? 24. You can see that it's mounted to something that would enable it to turn 360 degrees. So it has a pretty good field of view of this area.
Like a rail around the whole thing?
Not a rail, but it's like a pintle mount on the center that's a little bit elevated.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would say everybody seems to be on guard here. There's not a whole lot of chatting. You do hear some commotion often in the distance. And I would say, what languages do you speak?
I speak Common and Elvish and sorry, I'm looking for my language.
No worries. You hear guttural noises of a deep speech that might belong to a giant.
I know Sylvan.
But it's not Sylvan.
We all know Sylvan.
I know Thieves Camp.
Do I hear this?
Make a perception check.
I can read their lips, but I don't know what they're
At that range, you can't even see them. That would be a hearing.
Probably not. 8.
You can't even see Ori.
Okay.
I
So
could always go and try and talk to them
they're on guard.
persuasively.
They're expecting someone.
To what end?
And they're ready for like
Ensorcelment.
some.
No, I mean,
Can you ensorcel all of them?
if you talk to them, what
They're
is
expecting us
How do you know?
because they haven't moved for the entire time that we've been here. They're on guard.
Well, I think they're on guard for the literal field of monsters.
Oh,
On
yeah.
the other side of this, coming this way, and the terrible dragon spider.
Well, there's a
Come
few
and
things,
see
really.
Really, you only need to engage with the leader.
Would that be easy?
We don't even. Which one's the leader?
The one with the most heads.
Like,
And what are you trying to do? Are you trying to just let us pass, or what is?
Well, if you make friends with something, generally you can find easier roads.
Billy, I know you're really good at ensorceling, but this is a lot of guys to ensorcel.
Just the one.
Do you think any of us could pretend to be someone that's employed by the, the devil, and then the rest of us are prisoners?
Billy snaps her fingers and kind of blows up in little like extra arms and like has like a weird like disheveled head next to her. It's like,
I have the spell seeming, remember?
Well, I mean, that's the only way I can imagine getting through this is if we are prisoners being brought to prison camp.
But once we get to the other side of the bridge, there's still a field of monsters.
Yes, true.
I mean, that was always the problem.
No, I know, but if we sneak through and then they see us start, well,
plus,
I don't know.
if
Not
we
gonna-
tell a lie to them and someone else actually has a few brain cells, there
They
will
are
be a
also
protocol
guarding
for
the
bringing
chasm.
Prisoners.
Has no one paid attention to the fact that they are guarding the edge?
I thought they were looking
That's what
across
I
it.
was saying.
Yeah.
What's in the chasm then? Oh, Jesus.
Well, it's to the Underdark. Who knows?
Hey, Zanzi.
Yeah.
Why do they seem so focused guarding from that direction?
I mean, they're guarding all directions, really, but especially that direction because if you go down far enough, I mean, hundreds of feet, you get to the ocean, and there's all kinds of things down there. And then I think there's probably some kobold caves up along some of the shore areas. But, I mean, if you fall at that distance, water's the same as stone, really. Also, across that bridge, there are some monsters that can fly. The gargoyles, for instance. They come across sometimes, and they can be kind of sneaky.
Alina makes a mental note to ask someone smart later how there could be an ocean underground. Just filing that away. We've got bigger fish to fry.
But also, I mean, they're on guard against everything. Before, we is sort of a strong word, I suppose, but before the Grungle Bungle took this area over, it was owned by the Drow, and we had to chase them out, and they probably would like it back. But they haven't been around for a little bit. More Duragar issues this far north.
Can we please decide what we're doing and then do it? We're wasting a lot of time just standing around here.
I can probably
See?
make-
Someone rolled a die behind the screen.
I just dropped it.
I don't believe you. So we can try to sneak through, we can try to fight through, or we can turn around and go a different way.
I would opt for sneaking if it were myself, but that's
I put
not
it
the
in
case.
the not vote.
We can all go in my ring, and if you don't want to go in, Ori, you can carry the ring.
If
I
if
look
say-
really terrible. Please tell me that I can use this or I should drop it.
I don't know. It's
If we're
pretty
a smaller
funny.
group, we might have better shot at getting through.
I see a way through. It's risky.
Okay, what about this? Or if you are feeling at least kind of okay about sneaking, we can all go in my ring. Maybe make I don't know, you can cast that sneaky spell, and if you have to be not in the ring, you can be like a little animal. Rez can stay outside too, he's invisible, and the rest of us can ride in the ring, and then it'll only be you, Ori, who has to do the sneaking.
How many pockets do you have?
Well, if it's a ring, I can just put it on my finger, right?
Well, if I was going to be a small animal.
Oh, I've got plenty of.
Okay, do you have a
places.
rat-shaped pocket?
Does it specifically need to be rat-shaped?
Well, I don't know how big your pockets are.
It's big enough to hold all my stuff.
It's
Okay.
just
I've got
rat
extra room.
sized.
Okay.
A few of them are.
Ori, I prefer you didn't wear the ring, just put it in a pocket, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Not my style anyway.
She looks at it, she's like, oh.
Damn.
Okay. Are we doing this then? Does anybody have any
No, I think it's
I
as
have
good as a plan as any.
We're already
many
here.
Of all the other
reservations,
bad plans,
but
so let's...
Backtracking could be just as dangerous with the thing, so we might
And-
as well try.
Okay.
if I do become entirely fucked,
We'll pop out of the ring.
We'll mourn your death.
We'll pop out of the ring. We can come out at any time I want, Ori. So it's not like we go in there and we have to
just
stay.
tap on it or something. Or do you-
We can hear and see you.
Oh, great.
We can hear and
Okay,
see everything.
Wonderful.
So all you have to do is be like,
All right.
and you know what? If Rez stays out, then you can even like, if something weird happens, and he can tell you.
Wait,
No offense to Rez, but his previous attempts have ended in his death.
He can ride in your pocket.
In your mind, you hear Alina. Rez says, "Don't worry. I'm going to stay out here because if Ori just throws the ring down the chasm, I can make sure you guys don't fall down.
And
I don't
telepathically,
trust him 100%.
and telepathically, Alina's like, okay, that actually sounds pretty good. Rez, you stay outside, and your
it into the
number
fire.
one job is to catch the ring if it starts to fall.
Yeah.
No.
Love it. Okay. Rez is gonna stay out here with you, but he's gonna be invisible. Okay.
And make
Did
sure
you
that
tell
he
them
doesn't-
that they can see invisible creatures? At least the leader can.
Oh yeah, they can see invisible creatures. So maybe just stay in one of Ori's pockets or his bag or something.
I don't think I have room for
Okay, fine. Just
both of them.
stay like on
I've
top
put
of
on a
his
lot
head.
of muscle lately, so, I probably won't fit.
I can tell. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, can we go
Just
now?
like stay really close and just remember number one job, the ring.
The ring.
And telepathically, Alina's like, if it's Ori or the ring, you pick the ring.
Always.
Good.
also, Billy, your illusion looks really good. I'm sorry, we're not going to use it.
Okay, is there any reason why I can't bring everybody except Ori and Minka into the ring? Okay, I'm doing it now.
Okay.
I put my hand on the ring.
You don't have to.
I
Oh yeah, and I bring Zanzi too. Yeah. Zanzi's invited.
Just pick it up on
We are not.
And
Are you gonna put it in my hand first and then hop in yourself?
she's so used to handing it to
yeah.
Billy. She'll start to hand it to
Billy's
Billy
like, "No,
and then
wait,
be like,
no."
oh right. There you go. And then
Alright.
Everybody just suddenly, you feel your feet just lift off the ground, and it's like you become immensely light. It's like you get lightheaded. The same kind of feeling as when you stand up a little too quick, and all at once the smells change. There is a blow of warm air past your face, and you are within this beautiful little jungle space that is the inside of Alina's ring.
it's a woodland glen.
Yeah.
And once they're in there, Alina's gonna be like, I know it rocks in here, but don't get too comfortable because if we have to pop out, it's going to be very, very sudden. So be ready.
Billy's like halfway into like a nest that she built from the previous time that she was here. And
Oh my
she's
God,
like,
Billy!
Is it like a green room or something in there? Like what?
It's just like it's like a clearing in a forest.
a literal.
Oh,
green
and
room.
also our carriage is in there still,
Oh yeah.
so taking up a lot of space, but we can fit.
Yeah.
Nice in here.
It was like a garage, but it's got the walls painted to look like
Yeah,
it's
very
bigger.
similar. I mean, it's not quite pinked, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to kill a rat unless you have another suggestion.
For creatures or for this entire operation?
For creatures, unfortunately, I think we're past the second one.
Whatever makes you most comfortable.
I guess I'll go rat.
I choose to believe that Mika says that.
And as you say, rat, all of a sudden, Minka just disappears. It is just the floofy garments which just swirl into a whirlwind and then become this tiny little blue rat that has these little points of light that glow around its back and whiskers.
Down onto the ground so that she can crawl up into a pocket. No problem.
I'll make myself like cozy in a pocket.
I throw the ring.
I have to tell you, I hate to tell you, but Alina said the ring over you, so I'm gonna have to kill you now.
Go get it. I throw him in too.
I have wings, Ori.
Throw him again.
I'll do my best to keep my head popped out of the pocket so I can see what's happening. But I don't know how, like, where on Ori I ended up in. I just ended in the first rat-sized pocket I found.
I imagine it's that kind of makes the most sense. So I feel like you get the head just sticking out. You're basically like a flashlight that's just sticking out. But no problem. So you have
This
this.
is just
And
actual.
you cast
It's
touch
crystal,
without trace,
right?
right?
It was already cast.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So it's
I've
not
been
like-
holding it since.
I
right?
can squeeze my way
recast it,
through, kind of, right?
You can try, yeah.
It's out, but we still probably have about like 40 minutes.
That's the pinch point, though.
Yes.
Okay.
And destroying it would guarantee that you can get through with no problem.
Destroying it would also raise alarms.
There's many ways that you could bypass it. But what are you choosing?
So I think what I would like to do is just kind of skirt my way through here,
Okay.
watching out for these guys. If I need to, kind of like throw a little pebble over this way to draw their attention, and then scooch this way along the wall to climb up.
So make a stealth check.
I love this too.
And it's plus 10.
Plus 10. Yes, because I can maintain concentration as a rat because my mind is unaffected.
There's the right one here. So.
So, to be honest,
go.
how much goes
All
on,
right.
I think is mine.
So, do going to my skills. That's a 38.
38. That's pretty good.
Oh,
Them Starfinder numbers.
that is Starfinder numbers.
So you shrink up against the wall. You are very mindful of the fact that in this place where there is a lot of traffic, snow is kind of gathered into drifts and piles. You time your footfall so that you're not stepping on any of the crunchy parts of snow that have congealed into these sort of wet slicks. And you do notice that it does have this faint kind of light blue hue to it. You remember the fog from up into the north. It's not heavy in the air here. It seems to kind of freeze and become the snow. And thinking about that, melting this down for like water for eating or drinking, probably not a good idea. But in its current form, not presenting any issues, you make your way through. And you pass on the left-hand side this huge ogre. And you can see they are every now and then just kind of like, kicking is a strong word, but they use their foot to very forcibly guide a goblin along to kind of keep them moving up and down this ridge.
That's here.
Yeah. Nobody seems to notice you as you make your way over to the base of the tower. But once you reach this section of wall of stone, which is really about 11 to 12 feet tall, what are you doing to get up there?
Can I just quietly and like slowly but, steadily make my way up, climbing?
So climbing. Yeah, you've already done
Is
it. You're already quiet.
Yeah.
Make an athletics check.
Is it something... Look, before I start climbing, is it slippery or are there handholds? Because if
It's
it's this
slippery.
cold, it's
Yeah.
like...
Billy has a question.
Can I bardic from inside the ring?
You cannot bardic from this. Well, let me look at
you
the
can
exact
see
word.
me, right?
No, I don't think it has to
I
do with
guess you can see
seeing.
my
I
hand.
think it's a range thing.
We can
You
see
have to
it's,
hear.
it's like a being in like a planetarium or something, or like inside a fly's eyeball.
And you're probably in the same pocket. Put the ring in the pocket here.
So really, we're
Within
seeing,
60
like,
feet of you who can hear you.
Oh, and you
Within
can't.
60
I can't. Yeah, I can't hear you guys, right?
I should have
That's
given
the-
that to
No,
you.
yes, you. It's been established that you can. That,
I can hear you too?
Yeah, the like little tiny squeaky voices from inside.
Oh.
That's been established. I mean, it's rules as written, but also we've done it before. And,
Okay.
The issue is the proximity because they're technically in a pocket
Technically,
dimension.
right, which makes space like not a factor.
Yeah.
No.
Things I thought of inside the
All
ring.
right.
was a good
Well,
Well, you could just put like a whole bunch of like items that give you buffs and just like leave them in
I
there. and
believe
like,
I have.
Just get 30 like level
the
3
climbing
paladins
kit,
and just have a
right?
huge aura overlap.
I have the climbing kit.
So instead of having the
Yeah.
wrong
Can I use something from the climbing kit that isn't going to be like, full
the
on taking out the
Verizon
equipment
network
and
of
setting up
paladins.
a
Total coverage.
We got a wheel. We got a wheel
line.
from Olivite. I don't know if that's relevant right now.
We'll hold on to it to see if it becomes relevant.
Okay.
For you, so in order to use the climbing kit to help you climb, you're using the whole kit. It's not like it, and the
I
climbing
can't
kit
take,
isn't.
like, a-
Is the climbing kit isn't like what you would
It's
use
not like
to
an
like boulder here.
Yeah.
It really is like all you really need to use is the pythons, but you're still using the climbing kit.
Yeah. Plus, this is only like 11 feet. I think I just have to try and go for it.
Yeah.
Get
We're all
my
ready.
gloves ready.
grab my chalk
Like,
back, but I can't reach.
try to get some grip to like hold a
Sure.
little better.
Make an athletics check.
just got an image of the little rat with a tiny chalk bag.
12. That was a terrible roll.
That was
after
not a
really
great
good
roll.
one.
With the 12 ore, you rush up, and as you grab onto the rocks,
Slowly.
you are able to find a place where there is purchase, and then it just cracks off. And you fall down, you land on your feet, you feel in this pocket like you kind of get jostled, and as you emerge back up, your fur kind of like over your eyes, and you move it, you can see these goblins, this large creature, now all looking at you. And Ori, you get the sense that you've been spotted. There's a brief moment you can see the goblins looking at each other. This ogre looks up. The ogre looks up at the tower at the individual that's there. You can tell that they're trying to make up their mind about what to do here. Is there anything that anybody's doing?
Alina's like, Rez, status report.
Rez goes, it's not going good up here.
Should we come out?
Yes.
Okay, Alina's gonna shunt everybody out of the ring.
Okay. This guy is like, at this point, turned around. He's like taking a step closer to Ori and points this huge axe at you, but he's pointing the end that is not sharp. Still seems to be a little bit confused.
Oh.
And pointing at you just goes, grunk, and then
Oh, it might just make it worse.
just shut out. And everybody can go ahead and roll for initiative.
I'm so sorry.
No, I think it was the right, like, thing to do.
We couldn't sense the guy's confusion. I just know that the jig was up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So if we're shunted, it's gonna be like
We're just a pile
it's
of
gonna
people.
drop everybody here.
Yeah, in contact with Ori when possible, and then kind of radiating out from there. Okay.
So I'm probably right next to him with one hoof in his pocket.
Boy.
Chesh is just, meanwhile, just on the other side of the bridge already. Like, what's taking you guys so long?
Sorry, give me just 1 second to get
Cheshire didn't want to wait
squared
for us and
away
just fully
here.
left.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're still in his pocket,
I'm
right?
still in his
So,
pocket.
there you go.
I'm still a little rat.
So, anybody with a natural 20.
I have a natural 20.
Hey!
I have a natural 20.
Oh! Wait, I have to see whether I have one too.
Join that club. Join
Who's higher between the two of you?
I probably have higher dex. Unless
Oh.
you're a massive dex.
I don't think so. Let's see. I never even look at it.
I have a +3.
I have a +0.
Okay, so Minka and then Valis.
Yeah,
25 to 20?
Probably also.
Yep.
Nope.
Oh. 20 to 15?
19.
Oh, what a clusterfuck we have now found ourselves in.
Zelina.
Who could have seen it coming out
I don't
this
know.
way?
14 for Ori. 15 to 10? 10 to 5?
Rez has a 6 as well.
Oh boy, okay. So Billy and then Rez. And then our friendly goblins will be going at 14 under Ori.
Friendly goblins, plural.
Vincent.
Sanzi.
As a rat, I have a dex of +0, so we have to have a
Giggles.
roll off.
Okay. So,
I think we get to decide.
Yeah. So
where's
I'll.
my guy
You
here?
could still roll it off though, because I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters.
Wow, a lot of
5.
14s here.
Sorry that didn't work. I'm actually really
18.
upset that
So it's your choice.
Yeah.
I'm also upset.
It was going
Or-
perfect up until the athletics check. That was really the tough one. I
I'm
think-
mad that I forgot to give a bardic. That would have helped.
I mean, it is what it is. So, this is the way that it works out. Minka, you are going to be starting us off, followed by Valis, then Alina, then this large two-headed ogre creature will go, then Ori, then your friendly goblins will go, then the unfriendly goblins will go, and then Billy, and then at the very end, Rez. So Minka, as you poke your head out, you see these goblins turning to look at you, you see this creature, and then all of your allies shunt out, and you feel the air shift. Suddenly, weapons are being drawn. You can hear the tick-tick-tick of a large thing being moved on a track up above. What would you like to do?
Boy, howdy. So, I am still a rat.
You are.
I'm still a rat. So, I am.
Got a bite attack.
No,
You could just abandon us and scurry across and go help your friends
I'm
while
trying
we
to-
idiots get killed.
Let me look at my rat speed. I believe my rat speed is like 20.
I think
which
it's
is-
20.
Yeah, okay. So, which is not great. And I also don't have a climb speed, so that'll just add. All right, so I will hop out of Ori's pocket. and stand in front of Ori. And then become. Well, it's gonna be a moot point in a second because I'm gonna unrat.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I'm gonna unrat because unfortunately the rat form does not give me any combat advantages, and it definitely doesn't give me any charisma bonuses. So might as well just be me.
So you flop out of Ori's pocket, and as you kind of go end over end, you into the Minka form.
And then seeing that, knowing that our chance of diplomacy is extremely low in this situation.
Those have not been exchanged.
That is true. She's gonna just stand there, and just like put her hands up.
Okay.
And just be like, we are looking to help.
Okay, make a persuasion check at disadvantage. Actually, sorry. Make a deception check. Make a deception check at disadvantage. No,
I
but
get
the
more
DC is quite high.
How many negatives can I? Oh man, I rolled a natural 20 and a 6.
So, yeah, you say this, you raise your hands. You get the sense that A, they don't speak the language that you speak, and that is a barrier right there.
Yep.
And then even if they did, it doesn't feel convincing coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, no.
Anything else, Minka?
So was that I'm guessing that was my action.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So my bonus action is to just start fucking glowing, I guess.
Okay.
I'll choose dragon form for the flight capabilities in case that becomes relevant.
Probably a good idea. You look behind you, huge chasm, looks almost endless. The wind howls by, you go dragon form. The stars expand behind you, they become wings, they become a tail of stars, and you are in the form. Anything else, Minka?
Nope.
Alrighty, Valis, what would you like to do? Alina, you are on deck.
All right. So Minka just says, "We are here to help."
And then dragon form.
From that line, Valis is going to yell out loud, "We are here to help. Free Gunga Bunga from the Psilocybin. We will take their leader." And then I'm going to walk over here, take the dodge action, and use my bonus action to use the beads to cast Mental Prison on Two-Headed Jones.
Okay, very, very cool. Give me 1 second here to look up this.
That's yummy.
Mental prison.
That's a great way to try to salvage whatever the fuck I did. You should have gone first, really.
So,
Great question.
you cast Mental Prison on this creature. You crush the bead, and as the spell surges forwards and you try to latch on to some element of fear, you could feel this mind kind of surge forwards. The eyes grow frantic, and the second head turns and says, "No, concentrate!" Poof, and he headbutts himself, and you get the sense that they are immune to being charmed. They refocus themselves, and your spell fails.
Good idea, though.
Very good idea. Anything
All right,
else?
that's it. I've done enough.
That is your turn, Valis. You get the sense that peace was never enough. Alina, what would you like to do?
Do the Grongabungas speak common, right? Like all the ones we've come up across have spoken common.
About, I would say probably about 75%, yeah. Most of them.
So let's see. All right, well, Alina's gonna activate flight because that never goes wrong.
Yeah.
And
You explode.
she's gonna say to Rez, let's see, where's Rez in the order? She's gonna say to Rez, just help Valis, okay? I get the feeling that you're acting pretty close to him. Just do whatever you can to help Valis.
All right, got it.
Good. And then Alina is going to just kind of fly up here, like
Sure.
just a little bit higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 15 feet.
Yeah, but she's like kind of perching on here
I
in
gotcha.
in the way that Ori kind of meant to. And then she's gonna. Did Zanzi say this guy's name?
No.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, I can see him, so I'm gonna go ahead and cast Verolitham's Psychic Lance. And as I do it, Alina is gonna pick up the cue from Valis and be like, you can help free yourselves. Look at what we do to their leader. And she's gonna cast it. And that's going to be an intelligence saving throw, DC 18.
The left one was my buddy.
They're going to be like, that's not the leader. What are you talking about?
So that is only going to be a 9.
Nice. All right. So he is going to take 7d6 psychic damage, which I just realized I hope actually works. And he's incapacitated until the start of my next turn. So that's going to be, let's see.
Can we get incapacitated for that, gentleman? He is indeed incapacitated.
I'm just going to roll it on the computer. That's going to be 32 psychic damage.
32 psychic.
For the
and he's incapacitated until the start of my next
Very
turn.
nice. And that seems to only do about half as much as you would like, but it still does damage. And you do see as the lance streaks through, though it doesn't seem to do as much damage, they are rattled. And you can see it's almost as if that headbutt did a little bit more than they were expecting, and they just both, one hand on each head, just try to steady themselves.
Okay. From Alina's perspective, do they seem appropriately incapacitated?
Yes.
Okay. And just as she buttons up her turn, she's like, Grunga Bunga, free yourself!
Okay. You shout this out. And do you have the feature active where they can understand you currently? Okay. So you shout this out, hoping that somebody understands you. That brings us to this creature. They are incapacitated. And so that is, I believe, all that they
Until
can
the start of
do.
my next turn.
Nice.
And so that is their turn. That brings us to Ori.
So from where I am, I think I would have a shot on this guy.
From where you are, which guy?
Like if I turned here, then I think, given the height, can I?
It's less the height you can shoot between, but it's getting cover from the crystal.
All right, then I guess I'll just move a bit
Yeah.
this way.
Oh no.
Bonus action, insightful fighting on it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to hit him first, and then decide which one.
Go for it.
I'm just going to go ahead and voice up. I don't think that guy is actually the leader.
That's gonna be
Little Timmy, no.
That's what Zanzi said.
30.
30 hits. You get the sense that they're benefiting from the cover of that kind of wooden thing in front of them. Even though they're so tall, they're technically getting half cover, and you still hit them with a 30.
So I'm gonna use a charge.
Okay.
And I'm also gonna make it a menacing attack. So I need a wisdom saving throw.
That is not great. That is going to be a 8.
That is a failure.
Okay.
And so they are frightened until the next turn,
Okay.
or until the start of my next turn. And that's also 30 points of damage. The breakdown is mostly magical piercing, and then 4 fire.
Okay.
Magical fire.
That seems to do the full amount of damage. You can go ahead and throw
Frightened.
Feared upon them. As the strike hits them, howling out of nowhere, so far away and in the dark, they can't quite see you. And so, with the flying dragon and everything else going on, they're a little frightened. Anything else, Ori?
Nope, that's it.
Alrighty. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to Zanzi and your other ally. So, Zanzi.
Ally singular, oh no.
Who's the other one?
We don't know. One of them.
Interesting.
So, where's Zanzi?
Like right here.
No,
there she is. Yeah.
But she's supposed to be with us.
Yeah, she is. So, she'll be right
Wait,
here.
who's that then?
That is your other ally.
Oh!
The
Who's
other
our
guy
other
who
ally?
somehow
What's
didn't
his
die.
name?
Oh.
I don't remember his name.
I'm going to take him.
Yes, what's his name?
He is going to run over here. he's going to perform a shove attack. Actually, Zanzi's going to do that too. She'll provoke an attack of opportunity to do it.
Are we shoving goblins into the pit?
So first, as Zanzi turns and runs, one of the goblins swings with a scimitar at her. That does hit Zanzi, and you hear Zanzi yelp out in pain as they take 6 points of slashing damage, but they rush forwards and shove this goblin. That is, I guess, a contested athletics check. And you watch as Zanzi just poof, one of the goblins off and down this hill. The second goblin that runs over to help you, contested shove, shoves. The other goblin just goes like loose arms, and they collide with the chest. Neither goes over, and they are both standing on the edge. But that is Zanzi and their ally. And actually, their ally, Zanzi, is going to disengage. And then run back around over here, seeing this goblin. All right, that is your goblin allies. That brings us to everybody else.
Oh, God. Oh, he rubbed his hands together. I don't like that.
And here. Zanzi. Okay, so up above, you hear this move. That is now pointing down. Oop. Let's get that nice and secure. The goblins are all running over to this side of the tower. He can't move because he's frightened.
And infested.
Okay, and then could you take the spider, the 3 goblins, and the drow prisoners and their cart and move them into the middle of the bridge? And then the large ogre holding the spear is going to take the place of the cart. And that is all of our movement.
And the cart, you said?
Yep. The spider is pulling the cart, and so seems to be being used as a beast of burden. It moves. There are a number of corpses piled onto the cart, and then there is 3 drow who are fettered in chains and manacles that are also being led by the goblins. Okay, so for attacks. First, we have the ogre that is base to base with you, Minka, as you illuminate yourself and glow bright. They lift up this huge axe and they swing at you. That is only going to be a 13 to hit.
That's not hit.
Okay, second attack. That is still a 13, and so, and they miss both times, trying to avoid smashing the little goblins at your feet. So the goblins on either side of the one that tried to shove and failed will both take an attack each. First one is only going to be a 7, that's a miss. Second one is a 15, that is a hit. And you can see this goblin ducking, looking around for Zanzi. They get stabbed once in the leg and kind of sink down, but they're still alive. The goblin at your feet, Minka, will take a stab at you. That is only a 7 to hit. Billy, the goblin directly in front of you, will try to stab you. That is going to be a 24 to hit.
Shocking, yes.
That is for 7 damage. As they, like for them, they leap up and they are like high in the air. You can imagine in their mind they are above you, but they're like just about knee height. And they slash across, not quite getting through your armor. But that is the goblins all around base contact. Up above, this huge ballista aims down. And nobody is currently... Oh, Zanzi is.
No!
Okay, they're going to take a shot at Zanzi.
Oh, Zanzi, no!
That is going to be a hit. And so, give me 1 second here.
Zanzi's the tank. The ballista tank.
Oh, no.
Can I,
So you watch as Zanzi pushes this goblin. The goblin flies over, and Zanzi turns around, rushes, slides in the snow, and they pull up their scimitar, and you hear this of this arrow that's let loose. And as it howls over, it skips off the stone, and Zanzi just disappears.
Oh boy.
And you don't see Zanzi anymore.
Oh boy.
You can pull Zanzi off the battlefield.
King was Zanzi.
This is what happens to our pets.
They don't have a lot of health, and overkill is a thing. So, but you see up above those 3 goblins that are attached are going
This
to.
is what happens when you make bad plans.
It's not. It honestly wasn't a bad plan. All right, so they're going to fire at Minka, who is glowing. Minka,
What's the
first
plan?
arrow attack is a 15 to hit.
Miss.
Second one is going to be a 20 to hit.
That hits.
Third is going to be a 22 to hit.
That also hits.
All right, so
I was doing pretty good for a little
What
bit.
are these from?
from the 3 goblins up on top of the tower.
Okay.
The first one is 5 points of damage. The second one is 5 points of damage, and the third one is 4 points of damage. So little tiny arrows howling from above. And then finally, that's all I think that my guys can do. Everybody else moving up and trying to consolidate. That is the bad guy's turn. That brings us to Billy. Rez is on deck. Billy, there are arrows flying around. There's a huge arrow that howls overhead. There is the roaring of ogres and even more stampeding over in the distance. What are you trying to do?
Billy looks over at the big ogre with the axe who's like incoming.
The one that attacked Minka?
Says, you know, I heard they were thinking about making a few ogres into feet lickers. And I heard that your name was on the list from that one that just got shoved over the cliff. What are you gonna do about it?
And cast suggestion. I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That is a natural 20.
Great. I just realized that they have to understand me anyway, so I wasted the spell slot.
Yeah, so you say that, they just kind of look at you, they bring the axe back, and you feel like your words aren't quite landing.
Well, it wasn't that fun. And Billy just kind of like angles away around Gabo there to the other side. Yeah.
Okay, so you take out the rapier, you exchange sword blows with this goblin as you fence them off and move around to the side, no problem.
It's just some weird bitch slapping. It doesn't actually do any damage.
That does pull you out of one of their range, though, I believe, if you're not sure. Oh, no, you'll stay on the range. Never mind. You're all set.
And then looks over at Valis and is like, I guess diplomacy just doesn't work. And that's Bardic for you?
You've got to prove her wrong. All right. That is your turn, Billy?
Yeah.
All right, so Rez, heeding your call to go and help Valis.
He's probably just going to take his whole movement to get over to here to where Valis is.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't function like Cheshire's. If you fail, it's still gone.
He's got 80, he's going to use all 80 feet of his movement, probably.
To get where?
Well, who did Valis target? He targeted this guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to try to get over here.
45 feet. You can fly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 45 feet.
He's got a 40-foot fly speed. Okay. And he's gonna. Well, he can't take the help action because he just used his whole.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna be like, Olita, I'm here. What do I do?
Where's Valis? But no problem. That is Rez's
Like, oh my
turn.
god, we practiced this.
That brings us to the top of the round and to you, Minka. Minka, these arrows kind of sink into you. They're small, but you can see they're starting to add up. What are you doing?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
All right, so I would like to use the spell Call Lightning, but to cast it, I need to be able to see an area where I can summon a cloud. I believe we're a place where that could happen.
Correct.
My question is, choose a point you can see under the cloud. So how specific does that need to be? And how tall is this tower?
The tower itself is, give me a second here, probably about 50 feet tall.
Okay.
The ceilings in places go between like 60 and 80 feet.
Okay.
So here is one of the higher places. You could get a cloud above it for sure.
Okay.
And what are you talking about for precision? You need to pick a point.
When you cast a spell, choose a point you can see under the cloud. A bolt of lightning flashes down the cloud to that point. So if I was going to choose the top of that tower for the lightning flash down onto, do I need to see the top? Do I need to be able to see the floor
No,
of the tower?
no. I think you can reasonably imply that there's a floor up there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was my question. So if I fly up a little bit, cast it, and aim for the top of the tower, I don't have to like physically be able to see
Correct,
down onto
correct,
it.
yeah.
That would, okay, cool. Because that's my plan.
There you go.
So
Yeah, fantastic.
I would like to fly up roughly 20 feet with my fly speed of 20 feet. I have, I'm assuming that puts me out of range to get an attack opportunity from the big ogre.
When you fly up, that will. I think you're not in range.
How tall is the ogre?
Unless he's got a 15-foot range.
You won't get an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Hell yeah. Nice.
How tall is the ogre? About 12 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
I would like to cast Call Lightning. I'll have the cloud form on top of the tower, like above it,
Okay.
and then have the lightning strike down onto the ballista area.
Okay. Are you aiming for the ballista itself?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So normally that would be what, a dex save?
It would normally be a dexterity saving throw,
damage.
but each creature within 5 feet of that point must also make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Very nice. So that is going to be the ogre. That is going to be. Oh, I forgot to put all my dice upstairs. Okay, so first the ogre. The ogre's dex save is only a 13.
Okay, so that fails.
The goblins are going to be a 1, a 3, and a natural 20.
that one
They are
passes.
just throw themselves out of the way.
Okay, so it's 3d10 lightning damage on the failed save, or half as much on the successful one. So that is 12 points of lightning damage, and then half as much on successful.
Okay, give me 1 second here. How much for a failure?
6.
6. Okay. Nobody dies from that, but as the lightning strikes, you hear a trio of goblin shrieks. You hear the twist of wood and metal. The ballista is still intact. The goblins are still alive, but there is a commotion happening up there now.
Okay.
Anything else?
So, so that was my action, and then I'm gonna look around, and I'm assuming Zanzi is just like gone, like not even like a smear, just like gone.
They're so thoroughly dead that you see no blood, you see no body parts. You imagine with an investigation check, you probably find bits and pieces.
Okay.
But there is a fine mist briefly.
Okay. So nothing else I can really do is bonus action a bill. So I will just mourn.
Okay. You float up there. You hear the goblins shrieking. You get the sense that you're actually a little too close for the ballista to fire upon you now. But it is awfully close, and yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that when I was making this decision.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
I don't want to
is
be next.
your turn, Minka. That brings us to Valis. Alina, you're on deck.
I'm going to move over, I think, here.
Okay.
And will Sunbeam hit these two?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely will.
Alright, so I will use my bonus action. First free action Mourn as well.
Okay.
Then bonus action Sunbeam. And they have to roll some type of save.
Something with
It's
his
a
dex.
Constitution
Con,
saving
okay.
throw.
So first for the ogre that is in front, that is only going to be a 13. And then from the larger one, they're
still
incapacitated. Do they automatically fail? Is that just for...
It's still frightened, so it has disadvantage on ability checks.
It just can't take actions or reactions.
Let me just
Disadvantage.
double check what the condition is.
That is only going to be... What kind of save? It was a constitution?
Constitution.
It's going to be a 9.
Oh, fail and fail.
Yeah.
That's not super constitute, my guy.
They're real constitute. They just rolled real well.
Alright. Then I roll some damage, and those are not good numbies, but 10, 22 damage. So they get 22 radiant damage, and they are both blinded until my next turn.
Very nice. Blinded, incapacitated, frightened. And then the other one that was blinded was Gar. Okay, very nice. So Sunbeam, there is the crack of lightning underneath this cloud, and that illuminates the area for just a second, and it's like a flicker before the radiant beam of sun energy just ripples out. It burns one of their fingers off right in front of you. It strikes the belly of this larger creature beyond. They howl in pain, though they are frightened and incapacitated and blinded.
All the things.
Yeah. Anything else, Valis?
Can I stand here to attack this ogre? There's like a little gap between
Yeah.
this rock.
Yeah.
Alright, I will stand. Barricade. Stand here. And I'll attack that guy. He's blinded now, so I have advantage on the attack.
Yes,
Is
you
that
do.
correct?
Yes, you do.
Let's see.
to using the rolls. Advantage.
21 to hit.
21 hits.
6 damage. Magical piercing. And a 26 to hit.
26 hits.
And I will use a level 1 smite just for fun.
Yeah,
Is fun.
By any chance, is he fiend or undead?
he is not.
Okay. Whoa, that's good numbies now. Alright, that will be 14 radiant
Okay.
and then 10 magical piercing.
Very nice.
Alright.
Almost instantly, you can see this guy is looking kind of hurt now. As you stab into them twice, the area that was charred away with the sunbeam begins to crack, almost like when you see like a pig roast, how the skin cracks when it becomes blackened, just like that across the chest. They're still standing, but they're looking a little woozy. Anything else, Valis?
No.
Alrighty. Alina.
All right, so this guy's no longer incapacitated.
He is frightened and blinded, though.
Yeah. And she's gonna say to Rez, "Great work, keep helping him."
Okay.
Yeah. And then, okay, so I have a fly speed of 35 feet. I'd like to just go straight up. And I've been trying to use various items to determine how high I can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 30. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, you can get right up level.
yeah, she's gonna just kind of perch here. And then
The air up there is electric. You are right, like your head is just beneath an active thunderstorm, and like the lightning is still kind of like dissipating. So yeah, you can see there is just fire up there. The strings on this bow are like on fire. You can see one of the goblins, like their hat is actually actively burning. There is all kinds of chaos happening up here, but absolutely, your hair, like, up.
yeah, she's gonna get up there and say, "Hi, Eldritch Blast." And this is to the guy on the ballista, like the big guy, the
Okay,
big one.
sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna do these one at a time. So the first one does a 23 hit.
23 hits.
Okay, and that's gonna be 9 damage, 9
9
force
points of
damage.
damage. Okay.
Is he still up?
He is.
All right. Second beam. Ooh, 13.
13. 13 is a miss, unfortunately.
Okay. And Alina. Yeah, I guess that's her turn. To the goblins, just free action. She's gonna be like, "Kill this guy."
Okay. You can see
can do it.
the one that you hit is looking pretty rough.
The big one, right?
Oh no, sorry, the big one is the one that you hit.
Yeah.
Never mind. They're not looking super rough.
Okay.
They've taken a hit before.
Okay. And right to the goblin, she's gonna be like, "For yourselves, attack!"
Okay. You shout that out. That brings us to this large individual. So they're still frightened. They're still blinded. That being frightened means they can't move closer to you, correct?
The text of it is they're frightened of me, and a frightened creature has a disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within its line of sight. Creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its fear.
Yep. Okay. So they can't get closer, but they can have a good idea. Where's my template? Can I have that template?
We don't.
There's so
It's
much
sparkly.
glitter on it. Why is there so much glitter
Don't
on
worry
it?
about it.
I feel like I probably should be blaming Olive, but
No.
No.
Actually, it's Joe.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Joe and through Joe Ari. Oh, through Ari Joe. Jari.
Jory. Jerby.
Jerby.
So they have disadvantage on attacks against you, Ori.
No, I think period.
Period,
But also
yeah.
they have disadvantage on attacks because they're blinded.
Yeah. So they have extra disadvantage.
Just
They're
regular
blinded.
disadvantage. No
They
problem.
can't
no
see
problem.
shit.
They can't see shit.
None of their
They have a
four
vague
eyes.
idea as to where you are, so they are gonna have a brilliant idea towards you. So they are gonna look at you, and you can see one of the heads turns to the other, and it says, "Quick, use your good idea." And this individual,
Is that
you can
literally
see
what the ability's
one
called?
of the
Please tell
hands
me
comes
yes.
up, the other hands comes up, and they just slam on top of one of the heads, and there is a ripple of psychic energy that emanates out. Ori,
Do they need to see me?
they don't. They need to be aware of you. It is a disadvantage. That is going to be a 17?
That's a miss.
Ah,
Oh,
and
wait,
so-
no, that's a meets a beats a.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
gonna Uncanny dodge?
Are you able to uncanny dodge psychic damage?
Can you see it?
You cannot.
Yes, of course. That's why it's uncanny.
I don't think you can uncanny dodge.
It's when an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use the reaction to have the damage.
Do you feel attacked right now?
So I can see him.
And he's doing
That's
this.
true.
He's like,
He's attacking.
That's true. Okay, okay.
I mean,
okay.
he's doing hostile stuff.
Yeah, I'll say you could.
I've
that
been
makes
hit with
sense.
an attack, so I can use it.
Joe, for posterity, please tell me the name of this feature is Good Idea.
It is an ogre's brilliant idea. Yeah.
Very good.
Excellent.
Okay. You are taking 39 points of psychic damage, halved to I think 17. Please check my math on that.
35?
39.
39 half.
It's either 19 or 20, depending which way you round.
19. So 19 points of psychic damage. As this rattles, you watch as suddenly there's blood that just emanates from his nose as you get the sense that this creature takes about half that damage themselves. And Ori, you fall unconscious until the end of their next turn.
Oh no. So sad.
That is all that they can
This is
do.
for Ori.
And though they cannot get closer, they can certainly think at you. That is their turn. That brings us to Ori. Ori, that you suddenly the darkness swallows you up, and whatever thoughts or ideas you had will have to wait one more turn. It's cold in this dreamland, but that is your turn. That brings us to Zanzi, who's not here with us anymore. We do have. He is going to make his contested athletics check.
Well, I was about to say at least we have more bodies to feed the gem troll, but we don't even have that.
Okay. So that brings us to the rest of the bad folks here.
Okay.
So,
So they are objectively bad.
sure.
They are
Subjectively bad people.
Billy, you have kind
I'm
of
still
left
holding out
yourself
hope that, some of the
relatively
gobos will be
open
like,
here.
hell yeah.
Yeah, well, at one
don't have
point that
something
guy
much.
wasn't unconscious.
Now, they.
I'm just drawing fire from my squishy friend, says the also squishy friend.
Two of them took a last turn and this turn to climb down to here. Alina, now that you're up here. Just put this off for a second. We're going to step towards you and away from the edge because that seems like a bad place for them to be. It's still there. You can pull this situation off the map, including the goblins, including that ogre over there. And that is everybody who is moving, I believe. Now on to attacks. Okay. Billy. This
Hi.
creature in front of you brings this axe up. You try to speak to them.
I would like to use my reaction to give them a negative.
Okay, yeah. They bring the axe up. Minka from above sends a burst of this twilight energy forward, but they will take 2 attacks against you.
On their first attack, they'd get a -6 from my omen reaction.
Does a 9 hit? No. All right. So,
I
misses
have low
pretty
AC, but
badly.
not that low.
22 to hit.
Yeah,
Okay.
regardless of AC, that hits.
There is a mighty, and they swing down, and this cuts across. They roll almost minimum damage. That is going to be 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh,
They swing, and even though it just glances off of you, just the weight of this blade, this massive axe, which is really broader than your chest, slams into you and almost knocks you off your feet.
I told you you're going to be the new footlicker.
and that's Hellish Rebuke.
That's a dex save.
Yes.
Unnatty 1.
A natty one? Oh, buddy.
They get a
Alright.
-3.
Oh, no, it's...
Oh no,
They're slow.
buddy. Not buddy, but buddy.
Oh, those aren't good numbers.
Just a little.
That's 12 points.
12 points. So 12 points of damage. It is still very
no.
effective.
Wait. Yes, no, 12.
12. Okay.
Yes.
Still very effective.
Good damage.
3d10.
They're looking kind of rough. And, okay. The goblins who are around you now, you are taking 3 attacks.
Bring it on!
First one, that's only going to be a 13 to hit.
Nope.
Second one's a 23 to hit.
The 23 for sure hits. Oh no! 13 does not hit.
Okay, so one hits with the 23. The other one is going to be a 19.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so first one stabs you with a mighty 6 points of damage. The second one with a mighty 5. And so you are swung at by this thing, and now as you are knocked almost to your knees, the goblins are able to stab higher. All of a sudden, they're able to start to find little niches between your armor, and the damage is starting to add up.
To my knees, please, Joe, please.
That is all of the goblins that are around. The one that is in front of you, Valis, blindly is just going to swing twice at you, both at disadvantage. First one is going to be an 11 to hit.
Miss.
Second one is going to be a little bit better at 20.
Miss.
There you go. And so blindly, where are you? Right next to you. Even further away, the stones shatter by your face, but they are unable to track you down. That is everybody and what they can do in the bottom. Up on the top, Alina.
Hello.
The individual that is directly in front of you is going to turn to their left, point at the group of goblins, and you can understand what they say because you can understand all languages, right?
I can only read all written languages,
Gotcha.
and tongues is not currently rung.
Do you speak giant? Okay, so they say something in giant, and you see the goblins nod, the ears perk up. They seem a little bit inspired, and this individual turns, and they're going to take a multi-attack against you. First one is going to be a 17 to hit.
Yeah.
Second one is going to be much higher than that. So, Alina,
Yeah.
this is just their bare fists, but they swing hard, and that is going to be 18 points of bludgeoning damage with the first.
I'm resistant to bludgeoning
Oh,
damage.
that's good. And then a little bit higher with 21 points of bludgeoning damage from the second. Just they hit you again and again.
So 18 plus 20, so 29 halved because I'm resistant.
Yes, so 14.
14, thank you.
And then the goblins, with this newfound furiosity, are going to take attacks against you. First one is going to be a 26 to hit.
Yeah.
Second one is going to be a 24 to hit. And the third one is going to be only a 11 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. And so you take from the first 7 points to slashing damage. From the second, 15 points of slashing damage. And you only got hit twice, correct?
Out of 3.
Yeah. So they seem to be suddenly swinging a lot harder, and whatever this ogre said seems to have boosted them with a little bit of inspiration. But that is all that they can do. The ballista unable to be used as they are now engaged with you in combat, so that is all of their turns. And that brings us to Billy.
I was gonna say,
Sorry, Billy.
Don't skip Billy.
it's just a Boger inspiration. Well, first off, Billy is going to curse at the ogre and lay on a hex.
Okay.
So that's for the ogre, and this is for Bailey. And then she's gonna light up her sword for a green flame blade
Make your attack roll.
to go for that guy and also the other guys.
Get him.
It's a 22 to hit.
22 hits.
Sweet. I wasn't expecting that, so I didn't get dice ready. All right, so green flame blade, 1d8 for the ogre. I'm going to burn a bardic, and I'm going to make a slashing flourish, which will also catch the same guy that I'm going to hit with a flame blade.
Very nice.
So we're going to first roll for More's More Dear. Ugh, blech. Minimum damage. So that's 9 points of magical piercing.
Okay.
Plus 6 points of magical piercing to both the ogre and the closest goblin.
Okay.
5 points of fire damage to the ogre and 10 points of fire damage to the closest goblin.
So that closest goblin, as the bits of fire damage from green flame
No,
blade
closest to Billy.
sweep over them, it is just consumed by
There's
the
like one
elements
in
of
between.
fire. you were able to kind of move around, and every time that you parry this ogre's huge axe, you're able to direct the momentum towards the goblins, and that also kind of reinforces the damage. But you are able to stand toe-to-toe with a much larger creature.
And 4 points of... Oh, no, not D8. It's a D6, sorry. 2 points of necrotic damage to the ogre, and chosen ability to fail checks on is strength. It's not fail, it's just a disadvantage. But, fail is
So
The goal.
I like fail better.
you strike, you slash across, and with the second strike, the blood from the ogre ignites your blade into this green fire that sweeps across the goblins as well. You're able to create distance around this creature, and with the last strike, suddenly they sag down to their knees. They look hurt. They're badly hurt, and with this strength affected, they're barely able to hold this axe, but they are still up. Anything else, Billy?
no.
Okay. That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to Rez.
I'm helping.
Rez just flies into this creature, kind of pulls at the eyebrows of one of the others, and he takes the help action as hard as he can. And that brings us to the top of the round. Minka, what would you like to do?
Is
Valis, you're on deck.
Rez visible?
Yeah, he is now.
No, he hasn't done anything yet.
Oh, because he's just in the help action. That's true.
It's the help action doesn't happen
It's
until
not-
Valis' turn.
yeah.
So yeah, he's
Okay,
currently
so he's invisible. So I don't know Rez is there, do I?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, because you've flown up there, so I don't want to call no lightning down there because you are currently in the danger zone. But it is a 60-foot radius from that point, so it's like everybody is in danger.
Yeah.
Danger.
So I'm going to move myself.
Did not remember that call
This
lightning
way?
is an ongoing effect.
It is.
It's
I
such a
might
good
not have
spell.
flown up there.
Such a good spell.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's a big cost because your action is now eaten up by it.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Get him.
So I'm gonna move.
To be fair though, I think this is the first time you've seen Minka cast it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
has never had a character who has
To see a little bit better, I'm going to use my action to target the big guy
Okay.
with another lightning strike. So everything within a 5-foot radius of it must also make this dodge.
So that will be him, that will be Rez, that will be the other two ogres as well.
What kind of save is it?
It's a dex save. Versus my 18, so good luck.
Rez gets a natural 20.
Nice.
Go fucking Rez.
Would you say?
Olina, I'm doing it. I'm dodging and rolling. Sorry.
Would you say that this ability check requires sight to dodge a lightning strike? Because blinded creatures automatically fail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
for sure.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's just a blinded creature can't see and automatically fails any ability check
Yeah,
that requires sight. Never
that's
mind.
more
This is a
what I
saving
thought.
throw, I guess.
It failed to save anyways with a 6. The other two are going to get a 7 and a -3. And so with a natural 1, that is... They all fail.
All right. So it's 15 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
Anything that succeeded is half damage.
Rez is still up, baby.
Yeah.
Half to 7
It's halved from
from 15.
yes, 7.
Oh, good news. Brez is within 10 feet of me, so he has resistance to damage from spells.
Your garments float up, the hair floats up as the ionization charges down in front of you, and there is the crack of lightning, and it just bursts across the various creatures. Suddenly, you see Rez just appear in the air as a skeleton briefly becomes visible. And he is just back to being charred Rez. But that is a substantial amount of damage. You can see in areas the snow kind of just like melts around them, and they're all looking kind of hurt.
Awesome. So I would like to use my bonus action to look at Billy, and so clarification just before I do this. That is not a cast spell. It is an ongoing effect from a spell, so I can cast a leveled
Correct.
spell. Okay, good. Because I'm going to cast Healing Word at Billy.
Thanks.
At first level, and that is going to be. I just punched your phone. I'm so
very dare
sorry.
you.
Punch.
So that
Friendship
is
over.
going to be a rolled amount of healing, and that's the last thing I'm going to do.
Okay.
That was my move, action, reaction.
No problem.
So let me roll some of
The lightning
these.
cracks down. It robs health from many people in front of you, and you return a little, Billy.
Yes.
Billy, from where you are, up above, there is this kind of charge of energy, and as you look up, you can see Minka is just a storm floating overhead and just calling lightning down, just cracking on top of the tower. Stone falls down on top of you, cracking in front on this ogre. Minka is the malicious right now. But that is your turn, Minka.
17 points of healing.
Very nice.
I rolled very well on my
Yeah.
d4s, and that sickle still comes in handy, baby.
Valis, directly in front of you, lightning cracks on the ground. The stone shatters. They all jolted in front of you. You see Rez has suddenly appeared. What do you want to do?
Free action, not free action.
Bonus
I'm going
action.
to bonus action continue Sunbeam. So from my angle, it looks like I can probably also get one of the
You certainly can.
Goblins as well?
Yeah, you can.
All right. Have those goblins done anything?
No, they spent the first two turns climbing down that large structure. They just got to the bottom. They don't have a climb speed.
Okay.
And so they have just gotten to the bottom and they're like getting ready to fight.
Okay. So I guess the two ogres in front of me and one of the goblins is gonna need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. The ogre has a 17. The goblin has a 1
Sorry, 17
and 1.
and 1. And what was the third one?
Oh, the other goblin, or sorry, the second ogre, 10.
Okay, so that ogre fails. Which one did you just roll for?
The closer one to you, so the smaller one.
All right, so then this one's no longer blinded.
Okay.
So the 20. It's 40.
It's 40, I counted.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, it's actually I thought this was an 8. Did it get moved?
No, I think it was
counted
always.
15, 15, and 10.
No, I think it's 39.
39. Okay. 39 points of damage is a tremendous amount as you
close to a math cam.
across.
39 to the goblin and to the one that failed, half to the one that succeeded.
Okay. Ooh, this is hard math. Okay. Got it. The one directly in front of you, Valis, as you pull the sunbeam across them, it just illuminates them. And the goblin that is behind, as they're sliding down, they're like, their little hands holding onto the stone. They look down and suddenly the sunbeam is right where they're gonna land, and you just hear, "Oh no!" And they just incinerate him. There's just nothing left. You can see their friend lands beside, and they just look and they go, "Bowken down!" They're like sweep some of the ashes up into their hands, but that is, you devastate that goblin.
All right, and now, whoa, sorry.
It's all right.
Just move me over to.
There's a lot of hazards on
Yeah, for
going
sure.
on over here.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move over there, and I'm gonna
hazardous
attack.
terrain.
Big ogre guy. And
With advantage because you're being helped by Red.
all right, is it just the first attack or both attacks?
It's the first one.
Oh my god, that is terrible.
At that Bardic! I'm so sorry!
I rolled 2 2s and then a 1 on the bardic.
I'm so sorry!
It's my dice. It's my dice's fault.
I'm thinking that's a miss.
Probably.
I'm trying to help, but
12.
this guy's an idiot.
12 is a miss. You swing. You had barely hit an unarmored human, but yeah. As you're running and you use the sunbeam, this individual, the first ogre, lunges at you, and you use the sunbeam to blow them away. Their chest cavity caves in with the damage, and as they fall to the side, you just can't quite get an attack off. But anything else, Valis?
Yeah, attack number 2.
There you go.
The first one was just a feint. 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Aha! The plan worked. I will smite, because smiting is fun.
Yeah, there you go.
True.
10 radiant
10 radiant,
and 7 magical piercing.
7 magical piercing. Okay. As you smite, the energy ripples through them. You can see the heads where there are these sutures that sew right like down the chest and then over to the shoulder, these two bodies together. Some of these seams pop and some of the flesh begins to bubble out, and you can see there is this, as it begins to tear, they are still alive, but they are in bad shape. Anything else? They're still blind too, so they can't.
Oh, this one's not blind.
Oh, there you go. Never mind. So they are.
That one's
They look at the heads,
Oh,
look
wait.
at each other in horror.
No, yeah, they succeeded.
And that'll be it for my turn.
Okay, that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Alina.
So much.
Fucking sick of these guys. I keep giving the goblins an opportunity for life. They keep getting inspired instead. It's some bullshit. She pulls out her amulet of fickle cold, and she sort of rises a little bit and like points straight down at them. And actually, she's gonna come around this way.
Yeah.
So that the biggin is the first one that she hits. But
Yeah, no problem.
It should hit all of them, and it's 60 feet. So let me just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, easily.
Yeah.
This
No,
is
I just
60
don't
feet.
want to. I don't want it to go past down to where my friends are. So she's gonna. I think if this is like 10 feet, she's gonna be like 20.
From where you are, you should be safe.
Okay. All right. So that's gonna be.
You just put yourself on the top of the tower. That's fine.
All right. That is going to be a charisma check. Charisma check against my
17.
11.
Oh, you can see as you use this, you thrust this forwards, and there is a moment where your mind almost links up, and for just a moment, make an insight check.
16.
It shocks you because they overwhelm you with their ability, and an ogre shouldn't be able to do that, but that just ripples away, and then you feel your hand get icy cold, and you jolt to the side as it fires out the back, and the entirety of the ceiling just coated in ice.
She's
can
gonna be
see
like,
all
"What
of-
are you?"
All along this kind of web where the elements do freeze, it is like somebody has thrown a stone up into a pond that lies along the top of the ceiling, and there are just waves that across all of these tapestry-like cobwebs. And
Very upsetting.
Oh.
but that is that. Anything else, Alina?
Yeah, Alina's gonna be like, "I think I messed it up. I'm sorry."
You say that, you do that, that is your turn. That brings us to this large individual down at the bottom. They're not blind, they are in bad shape, but they're going to turn and looking down at you, Valis, they shout out something that you do not understand, and they are now going to use,
Are they talking in giant?
Yes, they are.
I do understand.
Ah, there you go. So they turn and looking at you, they say, "Take my words!" And they lift this like big club up and swing it down.
That's what I call words.
That is the name of their mace. They are going to attack. That is going to be a 20 to hit.
I love this.
Sorry, 20?
Yeah.
Miss.
Second one is going to be a 24 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. And so with this swing, it is a mighty swing of the club. You are going to be taking... sorry, just 1 second here. 23 points of bludgeoning damage as this slams into you, and there is a shockwave that dents the earth down around you. They pull this back and they grin at you, seeming to have given their version of a witty retort. But that is all that they can do on their turn. That brings us to Ori.
It's really important to make yourself heard.
You wake up. And Ori, on the ground where you are prone, so you do need to use half of your movement to stand. But oh no, you don't. You can just stay down there. Behind you, there are goblins who are kind of fighting with Billy. There is a huge creature rumbling over top Billy as well.
I don't like that.
There is a huge cloud now in the air. Lightning strikes in front of you. There is a sunbeam just ripping through the environment. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna bonus action steady aim and shoot at the guy
Okay.
on the ground. So I'm just like staying down, realizing what has happened, grabbing the crossbow, and just like
Make your
while
attack roll.
laying down, just kind of like taking the shot from prone.
Yeah, make your attack roll. This giant ogre lifts the club off of you, Valis. They say this thing about using their words. They pull the club back to take another shot. And in this moment, they're prepared to do something a little bit more drastic next turn.
It's a 24 to hit.
24 is a meets it, beats it with that cover bonus.
Hey.
All right, and that's gonna be another charge. Let me see.
Big spider dragon.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it Disco. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna do just that.
Sure.
And that's gonna. Actually, no. I am gonna use it because I've already used my bonus action. So I'm gonna do another
Just share with us what it is.
menacing attack.
Menacing attack.
And that's.
That is a 16.
That's a failure.
Alrighty.
So he's frightened again, and he takes 26 points of damage.
Ori, as you fire this in, though you do utilize this ability to make them frightened, you imagine they're going to be frightened for the rest of their life because it ends. As you fire, you hit right in the belly where the sutures kind of line up, the last element that was holding them together, and it snaps. And as this club comes up over you, it just keeps going, Valis, and the whole chest just rips open in front of you as this creature divides in half again. And they are dead.
That's it.
I didn't know if they like split like ooze.
No.
Never
Love
know.
that idea, though. Holding on to that. So,
Sorry.
No, don't.
that is
no.
their. Anything else, Ori? Nope. Alrighty. On the ground, you take that shot, fell that large creature. That brings us to Biggles. He is going to, again, try to do a contested push on this goblin. Third time's the charm. That is only a 14 against a 17. So still, these two goblins are just wrestling. They're pushing each other like to the edge, then switching sides, pushing each other over. At one point, like one of them was on their back, being pushed against the side. It's just wrestling on the edge. But that is all that Biggles can do. That brings us to the bad goblins. As a counter, those two goblins are going to work together to try to push Biggles off.
I like how this
is
isn't
going
a
to
whole
be
like drama
a-
by the
20.
cliff. We're just being completely
So at advantage, and with this contested athletics check, they get a 20, and finally, Biggles comes through with a 23. And so he just grabs on right at the last second as they push him over. He holds onto a little bit of a stalactite and is just dangling now from one hand, and they lurch back up to the edge. All three goblins still in melee. This huge creature behind you, Billy, they are going to take this multi-attack against you.
Why? Why are they
one-
behind me? They're in front of me.
No, the big one.
Biggin.
The big one.
Yeah.
Now they're.
Okay, now they're in
That,
front
that
of
was
you.
in front of me. I was facing the biggin.
All good. Is a 26 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Would it have hit from behind also?
Believe it or not, no.
Right.
I've got a thick butt.
Does a 19 hit? Yes. Okay. So from the first strike, Billy, you are taking 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
I told you I have a thick butt.
That's a hellish rebuke.
They still don't seem to be able to understand, but that is going to be, is that dexterity?
It is.
That is 11.
Beautiful. That's, much better. 10, 19, 25 points of fire damage.
You take 19 from theirs, and with 25 points of fire damage, as they slam into you, you turn and you told them that you have a thick butt, and that is all that they can take. Their brain just ruptures on the inside, and there is this violent explosion of steam as their eyes just pop forth, and they are dead. Well, that thing went off.
Deadass. Can we give Billy an extra like ability now called Buns of Steel?
So, Billy, the two goblins on either side of you, or sorry, there's only one goblin left.
Yep.
That one goblin is only going to roll a 14 to hit.
It beats it.
Unable, 14, look at that.
I told you I'm squishy.
So they stab into you, and Billy, you do take 5 points of slashing damage.
Ow!
And they're going to bonus action disengage,
Yeah, that's right.
and they're going to.
And over the chasm they go.
You're trying to hold. This guy is proving to be a little bit too hard.
Use up that bonus action because I used up my reaction already.
And then this guy.
I think I must have missed whatever so far that has happened.
Yeah, so our other friend goblin called
Yeah.
Biggles has been in a wrestling match the entire time.
No, Biggles.
Unable to push the bad goblins off the edge. Two just ganged up on him, but he bested them.
Okay.
And now more goblins have realized that Biggles is too hot to handle.
Incredible.
So they're ganging up
The
on him
rise
real
of
bad.
Biggles, who only speaks Goblin, and even that only possibly. So, the large creature that lumbers forwards to you, Valis, is going to take 2 attacks. First one is going to be a 19 to hit.
Miss.
Second one is going to be a 26 to hit.
Hit.
And so as they swing down with a massive club, that is going to be 22 points of bludgeoning damage. The goblin who is at your feet is also going to stab you. That is going to be a 20 to hit.
Miss.
Right off the armor. Cling, almost snaps their blade. It is of poor quality. That is all the individuals over there. And so up on the Alina fight.
Hello.
Alina, this person is going to take 2 attacks against you, both unarmed strikes again. First one is going to be a 24 to hit.
Hits.
Second one is going to be a 21 to hit.
Hits. But this is still bludgeoning damage, right?
Correct. So first one is going to be 14 points of bludgeoning damage. Second one is going to be much better at 27 points of bludgeoning damage. As they swing out and just are trying to box you off the edge. And every time they hit you, they seem like bewildered as you away and then just come right back. Not quite sinking in what flight is for them.
I can hover, bitch.
The 3 behind are going to take arrow attacks against you. The first one is only going to be a 10.
Nope.
Second one is lower than that.
Oh dear.
And the third one is going to be a massive 11. And so that trio not able to take shots around this large individual. But that is all of the goblins, that is all of the bad guys, and that brings us to Billy. This creature just behind you.
Yeah. I don't know whether or not to attack these goblins or just leave them to their struggles. I kill all goblins, I guess.
Right now, Billy, they're all tangled up, so in theory, you could shove all 4 of them off. So you rush over. Go ahead and make a flat athletics check. This is contested against them at disadvantage, I'm going to say, because it is a tangle of 4 of them all working against
me at
each other.
disadvantage?
No, you're flat.
Oh.
Like a rat king.
Yeah, sort of.
Bye-bye.
Was that?
It's a natural 20.
Natural 20. There's screaming, there's punching, and in this moment, as you rush up, you can see one of them is like yanking the cheek away, and you can see the large goblin teeth. Another one is like biting onto one of their knees. They're just all tangled up, and you can't really suss out who is who. You weren't really sure to begin with. This one doesn't even speak in common.
Yeah,
So
we just had one goblin, right? It was just
the
Sonzi.
middle of this rat king of goblins, and all of them, just one after the other in a train, go over the edge.
Including our friend.
Including Biggles, who just briefly had a rise and then a quick, long
We barely
fall.
knew you, Biggles.
Didn't even realize he was there.
But you can put Billy over closer to the edge.
And from there, can Billy see?
What is your dark vision?
Probably not 60.
Yeah, no, unfortunately.
Okay.
You can just see the edge of the bridge,
So
perhaps.
then I never perceived the drow thing going
no,
on.
probably not even hear it.
None of us
It was,
did,
it was, or you could hear it. That was pretty much it.
Cool. All right. Well,
was not high
Billy
enough
just
for
kind of
that.
turns around, and with the remaining movement, heads towards Valis because that seems like the only path to really path.
No problem. That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to Rez. Rez kind of flaps off the lightning damage, little sparks going off their wings. What are they doing?
Well, he's still under instruction to help Valis, so he's
Go.
gonna hang out over here and give him advantage on whatever.
Rushes over, looks at you, Valis, and just says, "One of them's casting lightning!" And just like points at the goblins. But that is Rez, and that brings us to the table. And because it is 8:50, we're going to step away for a quick break, and then we'll be back in 10 minutes to conclude this combat. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll be back in just a little bit. You'll see a timer somewhere, I think, down there. We'll see you then. And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, welcome to D&D. We're in combat. So coming right back to the top of the order here, as you are able to, with the aid of spells like Call Lightning and other spells like Billy's Butt, vanquish many of these ogres and goblins, there are still a few left. At the top of the order, we have Minka.
Yay.
Flying up above, lightning still very much active. What are you doing?
Minka is going to yell out to us, "I'm so sorry!" And then she's gonna fly a little bit higher to see if she can get a better view of what's happening on top.
So you fly up, and just at that moment, there's this burst of ice, and you watch as Alina's cone of cold just backfires straight into the ceiling, and there's just the ripple of this web up above.
All right, and then once I have a slightly better eye line, I'm gonna target the ballista again, knowing that it will not hit Alina because I can actually see now.
Yeah.
And then call lightning onto that ballista to try to finish up what's going on up here.
Absolutely. So the ballista fails. The three goblins. First goblin, one goblin is going to get a 24.
Wow.
One is going to get a 9. And the third one is going to... Isn't that third one up there still, is there?
Who knows?
Probably not anymore. That is going to be a 5.
All right.
And then the large guy, they're going to roll a 6. So everybody but one of those goblins fails.
All right, so it was 15 points of damage.
Okay.
And half for the soul successor.
All of the goblins die. As you pull down another bolt of lightning, they were already charred and crispy, and then a second one, right as the cone of cold backfires, and as it clears, the ballista, you can see split, and there is a place where the body is ruptured now, and you imagine unusable in its current form. The ogre is still up. They are hurt. You can see blackened skin on their back where the lightning entered and exited out their gut, but they are still up. Anything else?
Reaction to you.
Reaction to you. I think I'm too far away from anyone else to keep healing word. Because I think it's a... Even though it's a ear thing, I think it's a 60-foot range.
You can get
I mean, I'm over here.
Billy and Ori right down at your feet.
I'm over here.
I've
taken many punches.
Because it's a ranged attack.
Alina is the worst off,
Yes.
I think.
Then
Probably.
healing word for Alina.
3 steps
You
ahead.
shout out towards Alina, and this healing energy ripples across the battlefield. That is your turn, Minka?
Yes.
Alrighty, Valis.
I'll move over here, which will provoke an attack of opportunity.
It will.
Great on one die and shitty on the
Does
other.
a 16 hit?
It does not.
Clang! Right off the shield. Like a
Alright.
man.
A bonus action sunbeam this way.
Okay.
Constitution saving throw from the goblin and the ogre.
The goblin for Constitution is a 15, and the ogre is only a 7. Both are fails.
The goblin succeeds.
Oh.
And I don't think you should put that there.
Yeah.
It's gonna fall again.
How much damage?
Sorry, I got distracted. 9 to the goblin, 18 to the ogre.
Okay.
Radiant.
Goblin is... Oh, wait, sorry. I took a lightning strike too. Give me 1 second here. That goblin is dead. As you pull this across, their friend eviscerated. They land next to them. They jump off the stone with a couple ashes in their hand, and they look at the sunbeam and just close their eyes as it just right across them, and they are gone. It rips across this ogre, and the ogre is still up.
Alright, and now the ogre is blinded, and now I'm attacking him with advantage because he's blinded. 23 to hit.
23 hits.
That will be 11 piercing damage, and then 20 to hit.
With 11 piercing damage, you don't need to make a second attack. They raise up their arm to try to block, but they can't see where you are, and you easily cut underneath their elbow and straight into the chest. They sink down to the ground, and they are dead.
Can I see the ogre from down here?
You turn, and looking up, you can probably see like the arms swinging at Alina. They roar out in pain as there is just this lightning bolt that strikes down. You can see them, but they have like almost full cover.
Okay. Alright, and I look around and there's nothing else, right? Just everything is either dead or have fallen into a crevasse.
As far as you can tell.
Alright, then...
You look over, Billy was standing by a bunch of goblins, but not anymore. You don't even see bodies. Vicious.
I'll look around for Zanzi.
Okay. You look around.
That's it.
That's a free action. You
I'm
don't see
like,
her.
Where did
No matter how high you roll. But that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Alina. Alina, up here, there is this huge ogre still swinging at you. You can see they're pulling back a fist for another strike. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna, as I rear, I'll like fly back a little bit. Does that mean he gets an attack of opportunity?
It will.
I'm going to not waste any more resources. I'm just gonna point blank Eldritch Blast him.
Yeah, do it.
All right, so first one with disadvantage, right? Okay. Well, the first one's a 12 to hit,
12 is a miss.
and 19.
19 is a hit.
Dope. That's gonna be 11 points of force damage, and I forgot the bludgeoning last time, and 4 points of bludgeoning.
You strike them with this Eldritch Blast, and it hits them almost directly where that lightning just exited a moment ago in the gut. There is a ripple through their flesh, and there is something that pops on the inside. They sink down. They're still alive. But as they reach up an arm, there is a gout of like viscera that comes out from below. They are barely holding together. Anything else, Alina?
Yeah, free action. I'm gonna be like, just fingers crossed that he understands me. Lay down your arms.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know, it's worth a shot.
For free, make an intimidation.
9. Oh no, sorry, intimidation. 13.
13. You say these words. You don't know if there's any understanding or not, but anything else, Alina?
Yeah, I tell Rez, I guess come up here and help me. It might be done before you get here, though.
Okay.
Good job.
Rez, from like psychically from over where they are, said, "Yeah, no, me and Valis definitely. I don't know what Valis just did, but there's lightning everywhere." And that is your turn.
Oh, that lightning?
Us...
I thought you cast that.
Oh, I'm flattered, but no. That is, Alina, your turn. That brings us to Ori. You're on the ground. You see that creature fall in the distance. Lightning crackles again. What are you doing?
No other creatures that I can see, right? I'm gonna half movement to get up.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go this way.
Okay.
15. And then bonus action dash.
Okay.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Do I see any sign of the creatures that had made the noise before?
You don't.
Before I heard the cart getting pulled away?
You do see signs of like something moving through, a large number of people moving through it, trampling through the snow, making them muddy, but you don't see the cart itself, nor do you see any people.
I see, okay. I guess I need to get closer to see the actual bridge, so...
Yeah.
Action... I don't see anyone, right? Like,
Nope.
I can't see the guy up here anymore, probably from that angle. So, I guess action continue to move this way? Get a better view. 25, 30. Well, that's it.
No problem. You do that, you rush around, and up above, that brings us to this one lone remaining guy. He looks up at you, Alina, and they take one step forward. They're now directly in base contact with you, and they reach out an arm. Can you make an athletics check, please?
Why? Oh, 4.
With a 26, they grab onto you, and you are now grappled. They wrap you in a big hug. They look down at you, and they whisper, and they speak common passively, but they say, "Lay down together," and they off the tower.
I will
and,
use my reaction to cast Featherfall.
Okay, who are you
It's not
targeting?
gonna matter. He's holding me. I can already fly.
Target him.
Yeah, I'm gonna target him.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Because I'm being
I'm just so used to it being cast on me.
Yeah, because like he is currently falling with you in his arms. I'm like, ah.
This plan went better in my head.
So he off, and he plunges 60 feet straight down, and then right at the bottom, just stops. And you can see his eyes close, and you hear right in your ear, Alina, he begins to yell right at the bottom. And so there is just for a whole 6 seconds, and he's just looking around at the very end of this and just touches the ground. And you now grapple at the bottom of this with this guy just standing there very uncomfortably. But that is his whole
Oh,
turn.
right, because he's not dead.
He's not dead.
We're both just.
Him and all 3 of his hit points are still together.
Please let go.
Opens his eyes like,
Yeah, lots of stuff going on in his head, but that is his turn. That brings us to Billy. Billy, from where you are, you see this creature grab Alina and then plummet down to the ground, and then at the very last second, just float and land.
Amazing.
Billy's gonna wait for the picture to happen and then move forward to in between the rock and the barrier.
Okay.
The rock and the hard place. And move the hex to this guy. And fire off the Eldritch Blasts.
So they land. They're still holding on to you, Alina, and they look around, and in common they say, "Don't understand." And then woof, the hex grabs onto them, and then woof, grabs onto them again, and they are forced to release you.
So the first one is going to be a 26 to hit
Is a hit.
and a 15 to hit.
15 is a miss.
Cool.
Is
So
it
that's-
possible for him to survive
is he
this?
prone?
No.
He just said.
So it's 9
he landed
points
on
of
his
force
feet.
damage and nope, the hex
Billy.
is 6 and 3 points of necrotic damage.
Tell us how it happens. He only had 3 hit points left, and so
He just
holding
says,
on.
I don't understand, and it's just, he's just like holding Alina, and then just falls over, and they're like, huddling.
And Alina, you're just like, right on top. And as you are suddenly smothered, everything gets really quiet and very warm. And with you being vulnerable to cold damage right now, it's actually quite nice. That is the end of the combat. You are all out of initiative.
Oh, they're no longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely got healed. Yeah. yeah.
Right, you're correct.
Okay, so Alina is under this guy right now.
You are, but that's mostly for flavor. You can like
Okay.
drag yourself.
Alina's like, get him off.
Sorry.
She's gonna wriggle out from under him.
And you can see like Rez is just struggling to pull him as hard as
Yeah.
he can. Just Alina!
And
Billy
once
goes
she
over
gets
and
out,
helps.
she's gonna just sink down and just burst into tears because she didn't want to fall from a great height in the arms of an ogre.
God, couldn't see that coming.
Yeah, Alina's kind of down for the count for the moment. That
Billy
did
just,
not
like-
go well.
Gently, like, rubs the shoulder, like, they're there.
And Alina, feeling this small amount of comfort, she never gets like physical touch from Billy. She just flings herself into her arms and sobs on her shoulder.
Billy, on your other side, Rez. Big hug on the other side, too. And Rez just goes, yeah, Billy, we did this together. But group hug over there. What are the rest of you doing?
I will fly in their direction, knowing that a lot of damage has been taken by both of them. Switch to Chalice form, and then start to do some healing business.
So the dragon stars rearrange themselves to form the chalice behind you, and there are just these puffs of starlight that sink healing into your party around you.
I'm trying to get over to here, and I'll probably stop at the base, but I'm trying to look to see
Make a perception.
probably if there's any sign of the people who went off in that direction, or tracks from the past the bridge. It's a 19 on the die.
That's pretty good.
Ba-ba-ba. 28.
So you get to the edge of this bridge and you look across, and you can see this gray stone travels.
Sorry, 30. That was
further and further along, you can see that there are these pale lanterns that are hung off that cart that do allow you to see in the distance these individuals have crossed the chasm. On either side of you, if you look off the side of the bridge, it just plummets into darkness, and the sound of the wind is loud and such that you can't imagine where the end is. But across, you can see in the pale orb of light that is shed by those lanterns that where they are walking, the stone has shifted somewhat, and it seems to be a little bit darker, a little bit more volcanic looking, and it reflects the light a little bit differently. You can see that off in that distance, the ceiling grows up rapidly, and you can see kind of where it is right above you in places, but beyond, it is much taller. You can see dark shapes, and with a 30, you hear a rumble. And at first, it sounds like maybe rock shifting, and you think of the gem troll and the other elemental creatures, but then you realize it is something that is so loud and so bass heavy that it is really just the vibrations of something either huge or really far away, but you don't see it. Whatever it is, it sends a shiver down your back. You do not like that sound.
I don't like that at all.
And with the 30, you watch as they kind of wrap around the corner, heading further and further north in the direction that you would imagine that large fortress on the map to be.
Sound is not coming from that same direction, though.
Coming a little bit more to the east.
I loot the room.
Make an investigation check.
Meanwhile, Alina just into Billy's shoulder. I just thought we could sneak by, and now we can't even use my ring. He hugged me. It was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of arms that he hugged you with.
It was more than two.
I'm just gonna go back over.
So 22 points of healing for Alina.
Thank you.
And then 11 points of healing
13.
for Billy.
13.
Specifically, I want to loot the leader and also just pick up a bunch of goblin scimitars.
Some of them have gotten away.
You can add up to 5 scimitars to your inventory. They are of very poor quality, and here and there you can see places where during this combat it like snapped edges off of blades. These are things that are of pretty inferior quality. As you go through the leader's belongings, you said 13?
Yeah.
With a 13, there's not a whole lot. You do pull out what may be some kind of meat. The smell is suspicious, and it is of a jerky-like consistency. You're not quite sure what it is, but you could add roughly 2 rations worth of mystery meat if you would like.
Did you say you
take it.
came back over?
Yeah.
And I said that some of them had gotten away.
Got away? What do you mean?
There's cart tracks, and I heard some people speaking in that kind of guttural talk.
Deep
Does it
speech?
sound like this? And I say that in Undercommon.
No, didn't sound like that.
No, not like that.
How about this? And I say that in Giant.
Sounds a lot more similar, yeah.
It's similar, yeah. But, so I think they went that way, over to the north, across the bridge.
Should we follow them or take
No,
a moment to...
We want to go to the jail, right? We don't want to go to the fortress. If we just cross the bridge and then follow the chasm, I think I have to look at the map, but it'll bring us to the jail, right? We don't want to go to the fortress yet.
Oh, I mean, are they at the fortress already? I'm sure it's a ways to
Probably
the
not at
fortress,
that
isn't
pace. There's also something very large down here. Or
We can't quite bypass it. I forgot. There's a bit in between.
there's something down here. It's not good.
Down in the chasm?
I think everything down here is not good. Can you elaborate on the thing that is not good?
it? Yeah, remember we chose the route that has more bad things than the other
Like
route.
the
You got something to say?
the gem trolls, but amplified in size and dread.
Gem trolls,
good.
but amplified in size and dread.
But
That was
not
very poetic, Ori.
Any bells? Anyone?
Not for nothing, but we really shouldn't be hanging around here.
Well,
Bridge.
Yeah, let's cross this stupid bridge.
So, are we intercepting this cart, or should we just head straight towards
I think we should
the
try
door?
and see if we can catch up to the cart before, but the longer we wait, the further it gets. So
Do they
at
know
that
we're here,
point, it
Ori?
might make I think they well know that we're here. I think they've known to some
up.
degree.
Catch up to the cart it is.
Kill more guys. And then maybe we can use the cart to, like, you know, hide and get the rest of the way to the jail.
At least carry some injured people.
We can cast seeming to look like the...
I didn't see the drow, did I?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so are we running to try to catch up to the cart?
No witnesses.
Yeah. No witnesses.
I mean,
Too low fist bump.
if they were getting away from us, then there must be a reason.
Rez, go
They could
see
have
how far
prisoners
ahead of us they
on the
got.
cart.
All right, I got it.
Invisible, buddy.
Yeah, no, of course. Goes invisible, and as he's flying away telepathically, he says to you, "We're getting closer, Alina. I can feel it ahead."
I know, but we're not ready for it yet.
Billy kind of like guides Alina and like starts walking towards the bridge.
You push Alina along. Rez flies ahead. Make a perception check for Rez.
He never does well on perception checks. His eyes are too tiny. 9.
A 9? Yeah. He gets sidetracked because as he's flying, he goes, Alina,
What?
don't freak out, okay? I think there's chocolate down here somewhere. Do you think you could distract everybody for like an hour and I can just look over and find it real quick?
Don't get sidetracked, bud. And I'm just gonna be like, just stay where you are. Just stay where you are. And she's gonna look through his eyes.
Make a perception check for yourself.
Now, it doesn't specifically say that I can smell with his nose, but I can hear through his ears.
You're
and see
using
through
his
eyes.
senses, yeah.
Okay, do I? Well, okay,
gonna
first
find
things
out.
first. Oh, that's so much better. 22.
Tell me.
You don't smell chocolate. That seems to be something that Rez's nose is like so finely attuned to. You don't doubt that it's there.
Okay.
It's just one of those things where he's like, drop of blood in the water. He can smell it. But you do smell markedly different things here. You smell decay. You smell what smells like meat. And in a cold environment like this, for it to smell this bad, it's probably been there for a while. And then you look, and focusing Rez's face a little bit, Rez goes, "Oh, wait, hang on." And then like his little arm points out, and you can see following the finger, there is a body that is nestled up and into some stones. They are clad in relatively brown kind of garments, although hard to tell if it's dried blood or just kind of the natural color. And there is a smell coming from that corpse in particular. And then as you're looking, it's not just that corpse. All around them, you can see kind of speared by jagged points of earth and kind of crushed under stones. There are little goblin bodies as well that are just kind of littering the area around them.
So I'm just gonna kind of look around. Do I see evidence of the cart, or do I see any tracks?
With your check, you don't see any evidence of the cart, and this is maybe a little bit more to the west than where Ori had seen it kind of
So he
off
really
to.
vered off.
Well, because
Rez
you
really-
guys said you were going towards like the prison first, right? So he's going to go to the west and then kind of go along the wall there.
I told him to go after the cart and see.
Oh, okay. So if he goes after the cart, then still, so going away from this body, he's just going to continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's right there at the body, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a second and look at the body and then go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So flies down, gets a little bit closer. There are a few sort of moving, wriggly things within, and you see probably maggots or worms. But as those kind of digest, what are you looking for?
Said he smelled. I don't know. Just he said he smelled chocolate.
At this distance, all you can smell is just flesh,
Okay.
and that is pretty overwhelming. But Rez, you can feel the mouth watering, and Rez goes, "It's somewhere on that body.
Ew.
It's fine. We'll just brush the maggots off. It's fine. You don't have to be here for this, okay? I'm not proud of it."
Look, go ahead. Just don't take long. Just
Fly straight down.
An addiction tracker.
He lands down on the thing, and immediately his little grubby hands begin to search through. Can you make an investigation check for Rez?
Is this taking a while? Because I think I would have.
Billy's
Probably
trying
taking
to.
about 10 minutes.
Oh, then I
trying
don't.
to
Oh, 10
sort
minutes.
in.
That's a lot of
No.
minutes. I thought it was.
Wait, we're not.
We need to decide if we're chasing the cart or not because.
Oh, I thought
Probably
we were
like
already
5.
moving across the bridge.
I had been trying to move us along.
Yeah,
And this
Yeah.
is, and you're
Yeah.
pushing
Bridge
Alina,
already.
so you guys are at this point like at the bridge.
I was.
That's fine. You
I
said
was,
investigation.
I was ready to go. If
He got a
everyone was
9.
Going.
Okay, yeah, you guys can just begin to cross the bridge, no problem.
No,
He can catch up.
With a 9, he searches for some time. He's like he's looking, and as you try to pull him away, he's like, "No, Alina, I've almost found it. Okay."
So maybe like a couple minutes into this, Alina's gonna be like, "My guy, you are on your own. I'm gonna recall you if we need you, but go ahead and search for your chocolate."
Okay,
And
I got
then
this. I got this.
She's gonna pull back out of his
Okay.
face.
So are we running after this cart? I'm a little bit unclear. I mean,
I
I'm
was-
ready to run,
I
but
was once everyone was here. I was ready to go. I thought we were already walking.
Are
across
we
the-
we're-
walking or are we running?
Well,
We
I
can
mean, I
run.
think
because
we
walking
should-
won't
I'd
catch
be-
us a cart.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're running.
I
then.
so in my head, what was happening?
I thought we had been running.
You guys can.
In my head, what
I'm now
has been
running.
I
happening
was
this
like,
whole
as soon
time,
as everyone
we
was
are-
like,
So as
"I'll
you
do it
pull
after."
out
and
of
I
the
thought I sent Rez ahead. but
as you
he
pull
veered
out
off.
of the so the body comes before he veers off. I was just gonna have him continue going in that direction.
Oh, okay, no, he's.
So that's like right on the
cart.
other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
The rest of the party catches up like as you pull out of the consciousness from Rez, and as a group, if you want, you can continue pushing along.
Yeah.
All of you do smell as you get here this corpse, and you can see that there are like probably about 6 goblins that are kind of crushed or speared onto rocks in various places. The body itself is up on like a little shelf, and so you can't directly see it.
And that's probably a good thing. You guys don't want to see this.
You do hear suddenly this aha, and you imagine he found the chocolate.
Oh, buddy.
Hey, it came in a nice box. You want it?
Yeah, sure.
You
You have anything else good on him?
Her and no, not really. Let me look. Kind of combs through for a little bit. Is there anything else that you are all doing?
Do we know
running
what-
after the cart.
what's going on with that court?
6
Looks like
goblin bodies,
it's
you
a bunch
say?
of goblins. I don't know. One of them had like chocolate in her pocket, but we're trying to catch that cart, right?
Yeah.
So like,
Yes.
I mean, do you guys think these bodies are important?
Not really.
I was just gonna tell Rez to ignore him, but he swore he could smell chocolate.
Valis
so.
is still running. He's ahead of you now.
We should probably go catch up with Valis.
Right now?
No, it's not. That's why we're moving.
Come on.
So you rush forwards. As you all make your way a little bit further away, Rez comes back. It's like a very nice wooden lacquered box. You can see like there is little like chocolate stains on the inside of it, and so it was like literally a box of 5 chocolates at one point. But gives that to you, and you all make your way forwards. Who's leading this group?
I've been running the whole time, I think.
Make a perception check as you run.
Clink, 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 clink.
I'm following the
I
tracks
hold
until I
my
can't see them anymore.
Okay. So you're bright, and you get the sense that here in this dark space, you are certainly a beacon of light in here.
Yep. Well, Valis is also running, so we are not
Clank,
noticed.
clank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once I'm back in my own senses,
Focused
I am
on
running
the
as well.
tracks a bit too much.
for sure. You run straight by this creature as Rez like returns, and you all make your way to the other side of this stone shelf. You kind of burst into a space where Minka's light illuminates much brighter because there is a little bit of a clearing here. And you can see there are more corpses here, although they do look a little bit different. These ones have been gathered, and there is sort of activity in a similar way to the one up above, but here there's more purpose. Is there anything that you're all doing, or just going to continue running by?
Does it seem like? Can I make like an Arcana check to see if it's like a ritual kind of thing?
Yeah.
Billy's just gonna do like a blow by once over investigation. Like, what is it?
Yeah, that's basically what I was hoping for too, and I rolled for it. 13.
13, hard to
that's
tell,
just
but
running.
certainly there's elements of it that look orderly for sure.
As we're running, spiders. So you have your light on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a giant thing These bodies that are arranged, as I'm still running, but I'm like thinking about this. I'm like, oh fuck. I think I like turn around, I'm like, dim the light if you can. There's something. I want to stop.
Bells,
Is this like? Are we
if I drop the
being
light, I can't use
tracked and entering spider-like areas with these
Make an insight
bodies?
check.
Like, this feels like we're entering some sort of feeding ground or
As we
something.
pass
The field of monsters?
As we pass the
Yeah,
bodies,
but like
can I see
actively
what
right now.
like
Yeah.
race they are, like what they are, or are they just nondescript and I can't tell from this distance?
From this distance, as you guys are running away, make a perception check.
There's a 25.
25. With a 25, as you are thinking about what you are doing, you're seeing all these bodies. And actually, not so much a feeding ground. What you had seen with these little goblins kind of like skewered by stone and kind of crushed by rock, it actually looks more like there's some kind of magical spells manipulating the earth. You've seen Minka do similar things. This seems a little bit more offensive in nature, as these have formed like actual spikes of stone. And the bodies kind of cling from those. And those are all organized around the body that Rez flew away from. You can't see that corpse from up where it is, and you've run past it now. But that seemed to be some kind of a battle, perhaps. And I would say the ones on the other side, they're arranged in such a way that is not feeding. All the meat is still there. There are insects crawling amongst the organs and individual parts, and you're recognizing with that check as well. Each of these mounds that you assumed was a body are not all one origin. It is not a single source.
It's more amalgamation.
Yes, this seems to be mounds of flesh that have been piled together from various creatures. What was your check?
28.
Some of those creatures being drow, some of them being what look like a sort of grayish dwarf of some kind, and you see at least one goblin.
So we should just keep moving. We're still,
I
gonna
want-
like get back a pace.
I want to make a perception check to see how far the cart is as I've been.
Make a
running
perception
towards
check.
it. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
we
10.
caught up to the car, I guess.
Yeah, Billy hasn't stopped.
Now
either.
that Rez is back, I'm gonna be like, can you now go search for the cart, please?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Flies off in that direction.
Billy's been trying to keep pace with Valis.
No problem. So Valis and Billy, the two of you have gone ahead just only by like 15, 20 feet. And you have Rez who kind of catches up with you. And the three of you, as you're moving forward much faster, are aware of the fact that, A, you are certainly catching up with the cart. As you round this element of stone, you can see the path is kind of zigging and zagging up. There are big chunks of stone that rise up in places to the ceiling, but others that form these high lookouts. And as you're moving, it feels almost like you're moving into like a canyon. There are places where people could be perched up on either side. But in the shadows and the darkness, almost 80 feet up, it's hard to tell. You can see that this cart is maybe 40 feet above you and maybe 180 feet beyond. And you are certainly catching up, but it is still a ways away. And you can see that as the light moves off in the distance, for just a moment, it does illuminate a large figure that is standing in the middle of this path. This figure, I would say, Billy... It was Billy, Valis, and Rez. None of the three of you really have rolled a perception check high enough to make out details, but
Billy
larger
hasn't
than
rolled
a human.
yet.
Make a perception check.
Rez has 120 feet of dark vision for
He does, but 180 feet away is outside
24.
120. How much is that?
24?
With a 24, in that faint bit of light, what you recognize most about this large, tall, probably 11-foot tall humanoid is not that they're an ogre, at least not the bottom half.
Ugh.
The bottom half is what looks like a gigantic scorpion-looking creature that then joins up, similar to a centaur, to an ogre at the waist.
Valis trouble ahead.
You can see that they are very much squared away to this path and seem to be intent on blocking it. With that check as well, they're not alone. There is shifting and moving along the sides of the path, up and above, on either side of them.
We're in an ambush cavern. Billy like kind of huffs out as she's running along. Not as athletic.
All right, so I'm gonna. Good eyes. I did not see that. I think from here, and I only have a short time span, I can use a spell to slow down the cart. Do you think that we still want to chase it?
I mean, we still want to catch them and stop anyone from knowing we're here, but
Does it look like the cart's gone past?
That sounded like a yes.
Yes, it's past this guy.
Can you? Is it too far?
I put my hands down on the ground and I cast plant growth. The range is 150 feet.
Okay.
And so all points at that cart around 100-mile radius, the plants become thick and overgrown, and now it has to spend 4 feet of movement for every foot it moves.
So remind me again, which
Decide
spell
how
is that?
big. It doesn't have
Plant
to be
growth.
an entire 100 feet.
So there's an interesting thing about this plant growth, and that's part of why I've been describing things in the way that I have.
Oh.
No life.
Plant growth requires plants.
Yeah.
A spell channels vitality into plants within a specific area, and in this cold environment, coated in snow and frost, and influenced not a tiny bit by the hills, there does not seem to be any plant life. You have not seen insects. Or the first ones that you've seen have been in this corpse, and that in and of itself might suggest something about the nature of those corpses, but not a single plant.
So
It didn't work.
Not even the potatoes, because those are no longer in the sack. Nothing gets that vitality.
once we get catch up to the beginning of that canyon, she's gonna stop and be like, "No, nope. That I don't think that's gonna. That's not good."
Are we all together now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've stopped, right? I've stopped.
We're like a couple feet in, right?
Yeah, just a couple feet in.
Is there any way around?
Is there any way around?
They keep me
Rez from up above says, up here there's like a path. It's like 80 feet up, though. I don't know how you're going to get up here.
Like, would we up here? So we'd have to like climb rock.
Yeah, come here.
Okay.
Is it in
Hold on, guys.
Is
And
it in
then
the direction
she's
of the
gonna
jail?
fly up.
You zoom up into their
I
vision.
don't zoom. I'm very stealthy.
Sure. And you can see, like, Rez currently... Are you looking out through Rez's eyes? Because Rez can fly up to the top.
Oh, I thought I was just gonna fly up. And
Oh,
join
yeah,
her.
you can fly too. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You fly up. You join Rez, and where Rez is, there is this thin 5 to 3 foot wide path that kind of zigs and zags along the canyon. And make a perception check now that you're up here.
21.
21. With a 21, you can see signs of this being a traveled path. So there are people that frequent this at least. It's not really snowy up here. And so it seems to have been brushed away by footfalls or perhaps just not really settling in this space. But you could certainly walk along either side of this cavern up here. It is only 5 to 3 feet wide and it is 80 feet down.
Okay. Alina's gonna be like, "Great work, buddy. Wait here," and then she's gonna just kind of stealthily fly back down. She's gonna be like,
There's a path up there. It's narrow, but it'll get us past.
"What I saw would get us past this party down on the ground, right?"
Correct.
We can get past if we're sneaky. I don't know. Maybe Valis, you can like extra tiptoes. I'm not sure, but I can fly everybody up there. I mean, not you, Minka, because you're in the flight club now. But if we're very,
Are you
very,
still glowing, Minka?
Yeah, I haven't stopped.
if we're
Is it in
very,
the
very
direction of the
careful
jail?
and you're not glowing, we can probably just sneak right by.
Is it in it?
The cart is heading towards the tower.
No, the path.
The path is heading towards the tower. So you guys are now heading in the direction of the tower because you're following the cart.
Do we have to... Should we backtrack and start heading towards the jail? Because I think we've lost the cart at this point.
I don't want to go into the tower. I
Yeah.
think it's bad news. I don't think we're in a good position for it. And I just want to see if anyone's still alive.
Me too.
That was always the plan, to go to the jail first.
All right, so do we need to go through the tower to get to the jail, or can we take a different route?
On the map, it kind of. Oh, sorry.
So there's kind of a cavern. Well, on the map, it looks as if you will be passing quite close, but the representation of that fortress is probably not 1-to-1 and exact, and so there's probably enough space that you could sneak around. You'll be within visual range of this tower, so you'll see it as you go by.
All right, so then we probably want to try to now go this way and hug this wall to get to the jail. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And
I
is
think
that
so.
more or less where, like, would the path goes toward the tower? I understand, but like, did I see any like exit ramps? You know what I mean? To like kind of
No,
tear
but
off?
it like goes up and up and up, and so you can't really see where it levels out to. You imagine if you go back, you'll be joining the larger cavern system and will probably end up in roughly a similar place, but the altitude that you end up on will be very different.
Well, we can see where that path lies, or we can backtrack. But either way, we need to get a move on. We've seen them moving people. We don't know what they're up to or how soon they're going to decide that they need the people in the jail.
Yeah.
I'd rather get moving. But
Which way?
so this way heads directly towards the tower and just up, but it's unclear what's past that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We could send Rez to
Were there
look,
other
but it
paths
would eat up
along
time.
The way
Yeah.
that, like, wouldn't have led
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah, so
that,
the
like,
original
you could
one,
go-
where that corpse was, if you had left, you could have kind of skirted the edge of this canyon and then kind of seen if maybe there was something along the
The
dark
sound
part of the
that I
chasm.
heard came from like this general. You said, or no, you said east, right?
Correct, yeah.
Easterly.
From
we-
that
Oh,
area.
the craw.
Correct.
I think we should backtrack a little bit and
I think so too.
take a left of course and
At the very least, it'll give us a little bit of distance from whatever that is.
yeah, because they can probably see us right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Let's back up a little bit.
All right. Anyone opposed?
Nope. Come on, Rez.
So we back up and take a left of the
At
course.
this point, I think Linka would want to try to keep an eye out for kobold caves.
Okay, make a perception check.
They've been mentioned a couple times, and that might be a way to path through without having to interact with so many things. I couldn't keep the earlier one. That was much better.
I would say, actually, if you want, this could be a survival check, too.
It's about the same. It's just, I just rolled like shit.
Sorry.
I don't know. It happens. A 14.
A 14. With a 14, from where you are down at the bottom, you can't see anything that would look like a kobold cave. You remember Zanzi said that they had kind of like tried to cave in many of them, and so easily accessible places along their traveled paths probably won't find them. But you look up, and perhaps up in those ridges, if you were to continue along them, you might find something like that. But you don't see any.
Yeah.
So you are all turning around now? Mm-hmm. Okay. You turn around. Rez hesitates and he says, Alina, I can feel it. It's just up there.
What the hells?
Yeah, it's weird. It feels, I don't know if this makes any sense, but it feels like there's two of them.
Two hells, like two portals.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, you know what? You go on and keep looking.
You don't feel that?
Do I feel it?
Make a perception check.
13.
Yeah, it's probably just my own heartbeat.
Do you want to go keep investigating, or do you want to stay with me? We can keep talking. It lasts as long as we're on the same. I mean, our connection exists.
Yeah. No, I'll go look ahead.
Okay.
Kind of flies ahead a little bit.
You're still invisible, right?
Yeah, he's keeping along the upper path. He's going towards this creature. Okay. So he flies closer, and when he gets to within 80 feet of it, there is a kind of slow shift, and Rez just goes, huh, I think I've been spotted. And, are you doing anything? He's not doing anything.
I'm looking through his eyes.
You look, and you can now see the dark silhouette of this creature, the huge scorpion-like tail kind of raised over. It's still 80 feet away, kind of down at a little hypotenuse, but they have turned, and they are now holding this long sword, which appears to be about 6 feet long, and just pointing it at Rez. And though you can't see the face, you can't see details at this distance, they seem to be able to spot this invisible creature. And Rez just goes, I think he sees me. But I can keep going if you want.
I think that would be up to you, bud.
Yeah, I think I should go back.
Okay, but don't fly straight back. Just go into your pocket dimension, and I'll resummon you.
Disappears.
Okay, and as an action, I bring him back next to me.
Reappears and goes, guys, that guy's nuts.
Who'd you see?
This is like a scorpion man.
That sounds awful.
You know scorpions? They got those here.
Yeah, they have them here. We have them.
Wait, scorpions
ours are
aren't
little,
that,
though.
Yeah, how big was he?
Big.
Like,
So was it like
this big?
Can this be a sorkin, like a walkie-talkie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys
Like,
can walk back.
So did that scorpion, like the big body, is that like a hell creature?
I kind of look like the top of him. What? I don't know what that guy is.
Yeah, probably two guys stitched together.
Yeah.
But was it two things stitched together, or is that just something that can happen? Does anyone know?
I mean, anything can happen.
I hate this.
You make your way back, and you can smell the corpse as you round this sort of area. Are you traveling towards the jail now?
I think that is the goal.
Yeah.
I used to think I knew all the things that could happen. Then I started traveling you a lot, and I had seen so many things.
I thought you couldn't remember most things.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, scholars, we think we know a lot.
You make your way off and in the direction of the stock. Who's leading this group?
I've got pretty good dark vision.
I was gonna say someone who can see.
And are we in a wild place?
You are in a wild.
Okay, so I can be extra stealthy, so I'll lead.
Okay. So are you all sneaking?
I'm sneaking.
I'm definitely trying to move quietly.
Okay, so everybody make a stealth check. This still has pass that trace? No?
No, because lightning storm is concentration.
Gotcha.
22.
Okay.
Yikes. 13.
13.
Does Raz get to make one too to contribute to the group?
When sneaking was no longer an option, Minka brought the thunder.
Yeah.
Raz gets a 7.
18?
13.
13. Okay.
With disadvantage.
Okay.
26.
Okay. All in all, relatively average.
Less clanky than usual.
But you make your way.
I don't like how happy Joe just got.
Can you make a perception check?
Yes, I can. 23.
Okay. So you pass through the caverns here, and Minka, one thing that you're noticing, especially as Alina points out places where the stone is different, is there is much more volcanic activity here, though it is getting a little bit less cold. It's still pretty cold here, but you see, like, there are whole walls that are just sleek basalt or obsidian or something of that nature. It's pretty markedly different.
These were from when the dragons were down here.
I mean, volcanoes are naturally occurring structures.
There was cobalt activity before.
That isn't
Typically
that
kobolds surrounding dragons.
Alina, you also notice as you
does
are
it do with
walking
volcanoes?
a little bit further and a little bit further, there are places here and there where the rock has been carved away.
That I heard earlier.
Where the rock has been carved away.
Yeah.
And in these places, there are spots that remind you of one of the places that you had seen. It had at one point belonged to the Enclave, but the goblins had taken it over and kind of hidden away within these fortresses. There are one or two points that you travel that are a little bit less fortified, but kind of similar. Mostly just stone platforms that have been obscured with natural rock and would provide good ambush points. Are you doing anything with any of these points?
I'll point him out.
Okay.
Would they be good rest points?
They would certainly be good rest points. They're very small, but all of your party could fit, especially now that you're down 4 goblins. And you could find a rest there. More of note, as you kind of peer at those, I would say, Elena, with your perception check, you do notice that there is signs that one of them has been used relatively recently. You see the snow has been disturbed, the rocks have been shifted around, and there is still ash and soot that shows signs of like a campfire. It is a small campfire, and so you would imagine goblins.
So I point that out as well, and I'm like, we could rest here, but also it kind of seems like goblins, you know, I mean, if they were here recently, it means they could be here again recently. But, I mean, I don't know if you guys need to rest. I feel kind of crappy. I don't know if you saw, I got bear hugged into a 60-foot fall. So, I don't know, do we want to rest or do we want to keep going?
Before we hit the jail, I think we should do a short rest. But we are... I don't know how far away we are. This goblin map is really bad at distances.
Do we have a sense based on, like, we've been traveling around and paying attention to where we are relative to the map. So do we have a sense of how far we are?
So you have a sense that you're probably about halfway between the bridge and this keep at this point. Yeah, a little bit close, a little, like right about there. Yeah, right about there. And as you are moving, you're kind of hugging that cave wall, and there are areas where the wall kind of rises up on the other side to give you these little niches that you can crawl into. But as you are moving, you guess that it would probably take you another 2 hours to get like past this tower, and you're beginning to see as you're moving places where the stone rises up on the right to mark the path that you have avoided, and you can see the stone goes up and up and up and into the darkness, and so you'd imagine that forms like a pretty secure little tunnel. It would be hard to reach there from here, and so taking this different path is probably almost certainly what you would need to do to not walk straight through the tower to get to this jail.
Nice.
But as you continue to move, you would guess probably about 4 hours in total will get you to what is labeled as the stocks.
Is that like rock wall and that rock like tunnel? Does that seem like it's naturally formed? Does that seem like it was magically formed to create a funnel to the tower?
Make a Arcana check.
Oh, good. I'm definitely trained in Arcana. I know all the magical things. I rolled a 13.
With
14, I get a +1.
With your Arcana check, you get the sense that this tube was not magically formed. It has certainly been taken advantage of to form a little bit of a highway, and that's pretty common in the Underdark. When there are places where it's easy to pass, I mean, that's where everybody's going to use. And that's all that you could really tell with that.
So can I put that thought together with the more volcanic structures to see is it similar to like a lava tube?
Yes.
Okay.
Lava tube is right on the money.
Okay. So that would imply that the more volcanic activity is towards the tower if it's coming away from it, or is it more on the other side?
You can nature check.
That's better. Oh, good roll. 23.
It comes back to you where Alina was like, how could there be an ocean underground, especially in a place so cold? And you realize maybe an ocean, maybe a lake, but either way, one of the things that is probably keeping it liquid is that there is probably volcanic activity not too far away, still, thousands of feet down below where you are now. But you had already smelt this toxic cloud, and you know that there is volcanic activity. It seems to be probably coming from down in the fissure and down somewhere a little bit more to the west.
Okay.
As you get closer to the tower, you'll first get a tiny bit closer to this activity and then a little bit further away.
Okay.
Kind of bending around and away from it.
Okay. That makes... Okay. Alright, Minka's gonna pocket that information. I don't think she would bother trying to be like... Especially with how tense everyone is right now. A geological, story time doesn't really feel like the thing. But she'll put that in the back of her mind.
Okay. Stored away.
So Alina's gonna be like, we have an opportunity to rest now, or we can just keep pushing. I don't know. We already know that we're gonna find... What was the silly name of the creature guarding the jail again?
It's a friendly neighbor.
No, it's the bad neighbor.
The bad neighbor.
Sorry, I wanted it to be friendly.
We know we're gonna encounter something. Do you guys think we should take a breather or keep going?
I can push on if needed.
If I drop the glowing, then I won't be able to use it again until we rest at least a little bit.
We should rest while we can. They already know
Even
that
just
we're here.
an hour.
Okay,
It doesn't need to be a full night.
I agree with that.
let's rest for an hour then.
Okay. Are you using one of these little alcoves to do so? Okay. You kind of pull off the path, finding one of these raised outcrops. You have to climb up some stones to get there.
I would suggest we use the same one that has already been disturbed.
Okay. Easy enough.
Good call.
Backtrack just like a minute or two and climb back up.
Hopefully before we went and disturbed another one.
Yeah. And using that spot is easy enough. There's a place that's already been kind of designated for a fire, and so just rearranging some stones that are there, you can set up a pretty passable little area to sit down and rest. Is there anything aside from resting that you are all doing with this time?
Rez, can you please keep watch while we rest? Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I got it.
Okay.
Make a perception check for us.
What?
No, go for it. You first.
What?
No, mine's
Oh,
just.
I
Mine's
got
helpful.
perception. 16.
16. With a 16, Rez stands guard for the time that you are taking a rest. They kind of start by walking back and forth along the area that connects this alcove to the main cavern. Then they kind of sit down, and by the end of it, they're really just leaning up against the wall and stacking stones in different orders. But they're paying relatively close attention. And there is a point towards the end of it where they look up and their body gets a little bit more tense. And they kind of call over to you. Alina.
What?
Whatever it was that I heard, it's like it just sped up for a second.
Sped up?
Yeah.
What
But-
direction?
From the big tower. From the hills. I think maybe that cart got there.
Oh, and told them that we're skulking around.
I
with
don't
it.
know, but that would mean that the tower's alive. I don't think that's true.
But you heard something speed up?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a pulse, like a magical pulse. There's two of them, I think.
Does Alina, can I make an Arcana check
Yeah,
to
sure.
see if I can tease apart what he's perceiving? That's a 24.
What he is perceiving is almost certainly some kind of magical source of energy that is activating and creating this reverberation. And knowing that there is perhaps a portal to the hells, it would seem that it has two sources that are required to use or power it. When he talks about, do you hear that? Maybe it's just my own heartbeat. You take a second now to really listen. And in the backdrop, every now and then, at first you just thought it was maybe wind coming from the chasm, but you see these ripples in the webs, and there is certainly a low that you hear every now and then. You think that's bad?
Yeah, probably. Good job keeping watch.
Yeah.
Just, keep me posted and stuff. And then, as the group is kind of buttoning up the rest, she's going to quietly just kind of relay what has been figured out, what she's figured out.
While we're all resting, Billy just like very quietly hums a little tune, and it's a d6 to all of you who are rolling hit dice.
There you go.
While we're resting, Valis takes out a book and writes in it.
Okay. Anything in particular?
Yeah, a poem.
Okay.
I'll work on some tinkering things.
Okay. Anything in particular?
Modifying smoke bombs, like the concept of the ones that I had used. I don't think I have materials to make more of those. Right
So more
now.
just kind of like tinker, like doodling and like planning. Okay, sure. Free action. You spend some time kind of considering ways in which you might be able to.
And then applying some poisons to some.
Sure. Yeah. Easy enough to do. Valis, you take some time to write a poem. Billy, you are taking a little bit of time to just heal up and help others in that process. Is there anything else that you are all doing before marking off a short rest? An hour comes and goes, and you can successfully rest.
That's fine.
Does it have a name?
I don't think so.
Heartbeat.
And Alina's gonna be like, if things are speeding up and they're like, ramping up whatever rituals they're working on, we know that they're using people, right? So, chop, let's go.
Oh, you think they're sacrificing those people?
Yeah?
We know that.
Dang.
We told that?
Someone told us that.
That's
Why?
probably not good.
Yeah, I know.
Wait.
That's why the jail is near one of their ritual sites.
Right, Raz? I mean,
but okay, so if they're trying to cast like a really big ritual, I mean, how much do you know about the hells?
literally only what you told me. Can we start
Oh,
again?
okay, but yes, you guys are walking. He goes, I told you about that.
Not yet. I don't think it's out loud yet. They never talk out loud unless, like, Alina has vetted what's been said.
I think I told you about the whole point of Stygia is that there's a guy that's kind of frozen there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy, his whole thing is that he doesn't really want to be frozen there. It's a punishment from Asmodeus. And so I think whenever I start seeing big rituals like this, maybe he's trying to get out. Have you ever heard of Levistus?
Maybe we should be telling this to the group and we, like, switch over to out loud.
Okay. Hey, how much do you guys know about the hells?
Okay, very little.
How much do I... Sorry, go ahead.
Make a history check if you want to figure out how much you know.
Probably not a lot.
15.
History.
Okay.
3, technically.
Scary.
I don't get my special.
You don't.
Special history lessons. No.
I did not pay attention if anyone told me about the hells.
What tells you you'll go if you're bad when you're young.
Billy and Ori, the two of you have heard of a ability that individuals have access to that is called the Vistus' Tomb. And it is something that is defensive when you are hurt really badly, you are encased in ice. And that seems to maybe track with what they're talking about. But Rez kind of goes, yeah, so anyways, there's this guy that's frozen. His name is Levistus. That's not really important. But the important part is he's probably trying to get broken out. And so we really want to stop these sacrifices.
Would a
Is the
giant pit of
Vistus the
lava
frozen-throated dreadlord? No, because that's
with that?
probably related.
Rosh.
Rosh Vizier,
Would
yeah.
lava help with
He
that?
might be working.
No, this is
in
a different
service
kind of
what
cold.
Vistas are
So,
trying to-
lava, fire, it's quenched instantly when it hits Stygia. You can burn cold fire. I don't really know how it works, but there's some kind of alchemy there.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Number 2. If you dunked a bunch of Stygia ice into a lava lake or a volcano, that would probably be bad.
I mean, it depends on what you mean by bad.
Would that be something that might free the Vistus from his tomb?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Lava?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to somehow get the whole glacier that he's entrapped in and dunk it in there, I don't know how you do that.
Like, as if there was like a giant volcano about 1,000 feet below us?
I mean,
Right, roughly where the tower is?
that would not be great. Because if they could just open up a portal, and they could just drop the whole thing. I see what you're saying.
We
Yeah.
have before they can complete this theoretical task.
Minka, is there a volcano 1,000 feet below us?
I'm pretty sure. I was gonna say anything because, like, I didn't want to, be like, hey guys, guess what? There's a volcano. But, like, that tube that we almost went down was probably a lava tube, like we saw on, like, when we were in the Giant's volcano. And, that seems to be roughly where the tower is. And if they're gonna try to dunk a whole guy, if there's a giant volcano here, because that's there's ocean, it's melty. That means there's warm down there. It's probably not great.
Have I mentioned I hate caves?
Okay.
A lot.
We should go get some of those people away from the sacrifice point that is not in front of a scorpion ogre. I'm not ready for a scorpion ogre. I'm barely ready for a bad neighbor. Especially with the amount of ooze we've fought. You would think we'd be ready for ooze.
Minka, we're going after the dreadlord. The frozen-throated dreadlord.
No, we're not. Right now, we are going after the bad neighbor. The frozen dreadlord is probably not a problem anymore.
No, he's a big problem. I think we should probably kill him.
Wait. The frozen Frit is still alive? I thought he was like gone.
No, I'm pretty sure he's alive.
That's...
Wait, do you know the frozen throated dreadlord? Do you know where he is?
No, but everybody seems to say he got up at some point and he went out.
Can you elaborate on that?
I was there with you guys when we heard it together as a group, so
I thought it meant like he left, like he was banished.
I don't remember any of this.
that's not how I interpret it, but maybe.
Oh boy.
Liches,
Usually you don't get
survival.
banished from a tomb.
He's just like undead and
That's the whole...
walking around.
Yeah.
Well, we need to go.
Wasn't
We
the
are
la-
going, we're walking.
Wasn't like where
Not
he was
this way, that
abandoned?
way.
I want to cast Legend Lore.
Okay.
Hey, Minka, I want to talk to Javaris. Can you, help me?
Scorpion.
Yes. Guidance.
Okay, I need to convince him probably to answer the question more quickly. And I want to cast Legend Lore.
Okay.
And specifically on Tosh Vizier. And specifically, I want to know if he's dead or not.
Okay.
I know the dead is a relative term,
Make a persuasion
but...
check. Make a persuasion check. I get the gist of what you're trying to ask.
Okay.
How laid to rest
Oh my god.
are his bones?
What degree?
4 hours later.
That.
At least we'll get to the jail.
14.
14. Okay.
It's time for the Javaris podcast, guys.
So you bring up the prayer bead and you reach out to Javaris and you say, "What do you know about Zost Vizier?" And he says, "Well, to truly understand Zosh Vizier, you must first understand the origin of all elves. Tell me, what do you know about the Spire phase?"
Oh no.
Oh,
And
you told me
he-
about this side.
He begins in roughly like the creation part of Alberon's history for this story. But no problem.
Alright, I'm
You're
gonna need
one.
someone to take my hand and lead me while I listen to the podcast.
You walk with Alina now leading you, all of you a little bit better rested.
I would probably be leading at this point now that Alina's holding Valis's hand.
I'll let that happen, even though
Okay.
you just said you wanted to go to a different place where we are
Well,
going.
yeah, but then that. Yeah.
Okay. I thought that the Josh Vizier thing, I can't keep calling him Josh by accident.
Josh, like the wine.
Josh.
Yeah.
I thought, so
Josh, my dear.
I thought the Amber Sword are going after Josh Vizier's abandoned lab thing, and they was gonna go try to find the power that he had down there, but I thought it was abandoned. As
It's
in,
clearly not abandoned now.
That's
No.
assuming that the lab and the place
Saw
up ahead
people
are the
going
same thing.
towards it.
yeah. I thought that was a separate thing.
Oh, you talking about like when we were told to like go and find some things for like the king
Yeah.
and the
Yes.
Meritaria's hand? Yes.
That was so long ago.
I think that was actually different than where we are.
Yes, that was a completely separate place.
Yeah, that place was
farther
above
from-
ground.
Yeah.
And like a deep castle thing. That I thought
There's
that
a
was completely
castle up
separate.
on like the side of a mountain,
Yeah.
and it's the furthest
We're
point
going
along the
after
beetle
the
train.
sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna kind of
Castle.
swing up toward, like
Sword
after
in-
the sword, we were
sword
gonna
in the
swing up and
castle.
then.
Yeah, and then
Make a survival check, Rika.
We also didn't make any promises. Other thing.
terrible.
important.
12.
Sword important sword.
Hard to tell.
Yeah.
Sword.
Okay. So I guess we're just gonna like continue to spiral,
Okay.
thinking about all this.
Who is Pepe Silva? Or you lead this group and you head across these caverns and they open up around you as you progress. About an hour goes by before you begin to see signs of life off in the distance. You recognize that you can see relatively far because there is just kind of faint bits of light coming from various stone structures that seem to be at first really tall up, maybe 80, 90 feet in the air. And then you recognize as you get even closer, it isn't that they're tall. It is that these stone tower-like structures have the base totally visible from the bottom because they seem to be suspended from massive chains from the roof. Almost like similar, yeah. Stalactites, except for the fact that they don't narrow down towards the end. It's just a cylinder of stone.
Pillar.
And you can see the light seems to be coming from windows in these structures.
The Western Air Temple.
Not a
The what?
That I think that's like on a mountainside.
Yeah, but
This is so if you imagine that tower right there,
Yeah, but upside down with
if you just
chains.
attach chains to the top crenellations, it is just
okay.
hanging from those
Oh,
chains.
so it's dangling
Yes.
from chains.
Oh.
It's
And
not
as
like
your
a
eyes
structure
kind of
built
adjust,
out.
you
Okay.
see there is 7 or 8 of these individual structures in various states of disrepair that are kind of clustered around this area. And on
It's
the
a
ground,
Shandator.
I love that. On the ground, you can see that there is movement. There are various little goblins kind of moving in patrol formations, kind of crisscrossing underneath. Make a perception check, Ori.
These, like, if only it wasn't cocked. That's not the worst, but too close. 13.
Creatures moving around.
Some creatures moving around up there.
Really?
Make a perception check.
Hey. Oh, 13.
Hey.
It could just be really fast rocks. It's hard to tell.
Rez, do you see that?
Make a perception check for it.
Oh no, it's worse. 7.
I just see a bunch of rocks. What are we looking at?
Don't worry about it. I tried.
Some creatures over there.
Hold on,
Take
I'm
20.
listening.
Just stare.
How close at this point are these kind of hanging towers? Is this like the jail or is this the fortress?
This seems to be the jail.
Okay.
A number of kind of cells broken up across various structures. You can see that there are a few windows lit, and from those lit windows, you can see little lines that would indicate bars. And so these are a number of different kind of jail-like structures.
How large are the chains?
huge. And so it's hard to scale them at this distance, but the links themselves at least a foot, if not
So
multiple
these aren't
feet
actually
across.
dangling. Like, they aren't swinging or
No,
anything. They're
definitely
just
not. Yeah.
Fully, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Recommendations on getting up there?
Alina's
high
just
is up
going
again?
to be like, I can fucking fly.
Yeah, but if so, say one person gets flown up there, they're going to be alone while you go down and fly other people back up
Yeah,
there.
that's true, but multiple of us can fly.
There's stuff moving around too, so there's probably patrols at the very least.
Yeah. There's gotta be
And
some way to
guards.
get up there.
So, the area around here was also, we saw marks on the map that looked like some kind of, like, ritual area.
Yeah, sure.
Do we see any signs of that here?
Make a perception check, Mika. Nobody else has.
I am on the nobody else has route. I rolled a total of 12.
You see a simple prison.
Billy, what do you see, Billy, please? Oh my god!
Civil prison. That's a 12.
All right.
Prison.
We're at the jail now, right? So
So we
So
Can I
you're,
move
you're
a
still
little
probably
closer
about
to
180 feet away, but you
that
can
is
see elements from the light on within. You're seeing like the windows. You're seeing suggestions of shapes as they're broken up from beyond.
all right,
Maybe
where
if
am
you
I?
stare at it, it looks like the pattern with the chains.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Where am I in the Javaris creation story?
At this point, he's saying, "But truly, there were many more families than that. But to understand families, you must know why we have creatures. The god of life came to Alberon through the darkness, and is kind of looped back to pre-first age. For a moment, you were on the drawing of lots, and now you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna get really good at remembering and reciting
know
the origin story about
So much
Alberon.
about the origin story, probably.
Yeah.
Now that we're close to the jail, Alina's gonna kind of she's been holding his hand this whole time, and she's gonna kind of tap on his forehead.
Okay.
Alice, has he said anything useful? We're at the.
Not useful. And then I guess you point towards. So I guess I will also.
do you see
join.
anything?
It kind of zooms out as he's saying, but not all life was from
Last chance to see something.
eels, for instance. And then you just kind of zoom out and begin to look away.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Something.
With a dirty 20, you look, you see goblin patrols, and you see
Confirmed.
suddenly a cluster of goblins, 3 or 4 of them, and they're moving kind of unnaturally. That's the first thing that you notice. And then all at once, their heads kind of tilt back, and they begin to fly. You see all 5 of them just float straight up, as if in a tractor beam, of pale orange light, and they just float up and up and up and disappear into one of those towers. You don't hear a single noise. There's no conversation. You're maybe just a little shy of 200 feet away, and so you should be able to at least hear murmurs, but nothing. And when this happens, you notice every other patrol on the ground stops, dead in their tracks. When they disappear into the stone tower, a second passes, and then all at once, all 4 or 5 little patrols begin to move again.
Did anyone else see that? Because that was weird.
You didn't see a goddamn thing.
See what?
I describe it.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I can figure out what this tractor beam is all about and
You
why
can
they
try
stopped?
if you would like.
I do want to try.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
thinking stuff.
It's a pretty
Dirty
high
20.
DC. With a dirty 20, there's a million things that could be. You're talking about spells, you're talking about rituals, you're talking about maybe some kind of weird, magic air current. There's a lot of things it could be.
We haven't found where they do the stitching.
You have not.
But we did learn.
This,
Did you say it out loud? Or are you just thinking that?
I'm thinking, could this be where they also, the jail is also where they use the bodies to make the things?
Well,
And
I
it's
think
not just
someone.
a thing, it's just conversion factor.
Those thoughts happen.
I think someone mentioned that it's the psilocybin who does the stitching when he comes around.
Yes.
But whether that's here or there, who knows? But we do know for sure that they're keeping bodies here for sacrifice. So,
It
are
sounded like, from what Zanzu was saying, is that the psilocybin comes by occasionally and the ritual sacrificing is the devil in the tower. Whether those two things are directly connected or tangentially connected is a little murky.
Right.
The devil in the tower is working for the psilocybin.
Yeah, but
That's
Right,
the
but
kind
the-
of impression that
right.
we've been
Yeah.
led to.
I guess I don't know if this description of what the goblins were doing is indicative of psilocybin activity or the devil activity. That's what I'm trying to figure out when
Hey,
I'm
Rez.
thinking about this
Yo.
stuff.
Does it smell helly around here?
Not as much as it did by the tower. It's a different smell. I couldn't tell you what it is.
Does it look like hive mindy?
I don't know what that means.
Sorry, I'm
No, he's
sorry. Vincent is asking Joe. Did the activity look like all the goblins were like in a hive mind of some sort when you said they all stopped and then continued?
If that's what you interpret it as, is there a skill that you're trying to use to determine that?
Yeah, I have knowledge hive mind.
You can make a nature check if you want to kind of think about natural hive minds that you're aware of.
It's like a mycelium structure. That's what I was thinking. If it's
9.
rot and
9 could be. Could also not be.
like, Ori's wondering if it's like because the psilocybin is like stitching together things. Ori saw the insects, which was like indicative of rot and stuff, and like part of the cycle of dying and rebirth in a way. Could this be like the psilocybin is more organic than we may have been like considering, and it is sort of part of the earth in the way that the gem trolls
Make a nature check.
are part of the earth?
like Area X, not a sponsor, but a great series of books.
Natural 20.
Everything that you have seen from the psilocybin has been so innately wrong and perverse and aggressively against nature and the very funding kind of way that it has been established. Almost certainly not.
Right.
This seems to be almost, if you were to give them like a subtitle, it might be a mar on nature. They are definitively anti-nature.
Cool.
Part of that, you think about the fact that the gem troll was very anti-goblin, or
Right,
working for
right,
the
right.
psilocybin indirectly, and that probably all tracks.
Okay.
We aren't gonna find any
So this
answers
is
waiting here.
psilocybin activity.
Are we ready to move forward? Sorry, go ahead.
Kara was thinking psilocybin is more
Yeah.
like government experiment type thing.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Alright, how do we go up?
well.
How high up
Apparently,
About
we
180 feet up.
gravitate towards the top, and then.
Sorry, I was wrong. You're 180 feet away from
through
the towers. They are only about 70 feet up.
an orange glow.
You said that there were windows and some of them appeared to have bars.
Yep.
Okay, what if just real quick we send Rez over to see what the deal with the windows is? Maybe there's a spot that we could quietly fly into.
So I believe Rez has no capability against the creatures that this thing controls most of the time now,
Just to look.
but they've seen him invisibly.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
They can
And I
sense.
forgot about that. It happened like 2 seconds ago.
So I'm assuming that I've been watching them the entire time.
Yeah.
So with my perception check, am I noticing any patterns in the movement of the patrols and the light beams and anything that we
With
can
that
see?
perception check, you watch and you notice these patrols are not random. They're very exact. Extremely exact. You watch as the same patrol kind of walks around the perimeter. There's a pause. They walk around the other way. And in that same moment, as they pause, every other goblin on the ground pauses. And they continue. And in places, it's hard to kind of catch, but there is a hive mind-like thing happening here. Whether it's a hive mind or not, hard to tell. But there's something going on that is akin to that.
Sounds like more like maybe mass mind control or mass like he's doing the thing that you
Has
do with
thoughts,
Rez.
but Ori wouldn't know
where something is seen through these eyes. But I feel like it's like a stealth video game where we have now memorized the pattern of the enemy, and now we can stealth.
Ocarina of Time.
It's definitely helping.
Follow the cards around the garden, not a sponsor. That's what I've been thinking of.
So, I mean, with that doesn't really give us a way to go up unless we... Are the patrols on the ground with us? So there's patrols on the ground, and then sometimes they go up.
You only saw one just like suddenly lift up in the air as a group and just disappear into the tower.
Okay.
You haven't seen that since.
Okay.
Wow. I know this is weird, but maybe we should disguise ourselves as goblins using the seeming spell.
I don't think that's going to matter.
I don't think it...
Against something that can already see and sense invisible creatures.
Well, we don't necessarily know that they can. Okay, I have an idea. If we send Rez forward, we'll get an idea if they can sense invisible things or not. Only the scorpion guy could so far, and that other guy could, but it was an optional thing. It wasn't guaranteed. Also, there is something called the bad neighbor, and there's a suspicious lack of ooze. Where is that? Was that supposed to be here?
Look around for that.
Yeah.
Valis, with that reminder, you think about that pale cylinder of perfect orange light, and perhaps it wasn't light at all. Perhaps it was catching light from above, and that was a huge column of ooze that dropped down and then kind of sucked all of them straight up into that tower. And if that's the case, that is a huge ooze on the magnitude that you can't even really imagine.
I share that.
And as you think about that, as you look and you watch these movements, the next time that they pause for just a second, you see like a shimmer of held strings, tiny filaments of perhaps ooze that traces back from each of those goblins and up and up and up and into various elements of this tower and the ones around it. But because it is 10:20, this is where we're going to end for the evening, as all of you consider that there may be not a few creatures on patrol, but one very large one. Thank you for joining us for this session of Adventures in Oberon Courts of Everest. We'll be back next week. Please stay safe. See you then.
Bye.
That